Potawatomi, Milwaukee. When you're ready to win, just say, "Show me the money." More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.
Brad Nortman here. Catch me on KBN, weekdays from 2 to 5. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, presented by Bud Light on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Welcome into Kyle, Brust, and Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin. I'm Ben Brust alongside Kyle Wallace, the heartbeat of the show. How you doing, Kyle?
I'm doing great, man. We getting over this hump.
You love talking about hump day.
You do.
Hump day? Y'all don't like hump day?
I respect it. I respect being dialed in for where we are for the week.
Like, yeah. I just don't look at the week as like, I gotta get to Wednesday. Like, yeah, I just think it's a bad mindset.
No. I don't know why it's a bad mindset. Listen, I love what I do, but boy, oh boy, do I love Friday at 5:30, because that means that I don't have to be bothered until Sunday at 10 a.m. for Sunday Karma. You can listen to that every Sunday when we're
when you say, I was going to say, every's a strong word. He's Brad Nortman, 6-time, 6-year NFL punter. I dressed as him for Halloween in a Jacksonville Jaguars jersey, helmet, shoulder pads. 6-time, 6-year NFL punter. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I will say that you're keeping the Halloween look going today, Ben, and I appreciate it.
Well, I wasn't planning on it, and this has nothing to do with the fact that our company here at Good Karma Brands, especially our Milwaukee office, is doing a celebration today from 5 to 7. Like, you know, different costumes and different conference rooms being dressed up. You got like a Taylor Swift room. You have a spooky room. I don't know why we're doing it on Wednesday. That's for a different discussion. But you can see on YouTube my new Halloween outfit for today. And I am wearing a clown mask. And what does my shirt say?
My name is Brian Gutekunst.
Very good. I don't know if I spelled it right, but I think you get the point. After the trade deadline happened yesterday, homeboy Chris running the show, want to make that known. 800-990-3776. Again, 800-990-ESPN if you want to get into the show. Brian Gutekunst had a chance to speak with the media about a lot of different things. Obviously, the progress of Jordan Love, where he thinks the wide receivers are at, why it felt right to trade for Rasul Douglas. Ultimately, what I want to ask all of you, 800-990-ESPN, do you believe in Brian Gutekunst's plan? Because I feel as if there is not a plan, or at least one that I believe in, because, again, look where we are today in a spot where I feel like the minority of people are the ones that are saying, well, what did you expect? Like, you know, they're young. Well, yeah, but they're supposed to be growing, right? Like, they're supposed to be giving us reasons through the last 4 games to be optimistic about the growth. And I haven't seen that, and a lot of people have not seen that, and I feel like that is echoed amongst Packer Nation. Now, here's what Brian Gutekunst had to say earlier in media availability post-trade of Rasul Douglas about why he traded Rasul Douglas.
You know, we weren't looking to move anybody. Got a call kind of out of the blue a few days ago, and it ended up being, you know, we kind of weren't really interested in doing it, but at the end of the day, the offer was kind of too good to pass up. Quite frankly, we were kind of looking to add maybe something if we could. That didn't transpire, but this kind of came out of nowhere and just made sense for our football team.
That was Brian Gutekunst talking about the trade for Rasul Douglas. And again, I don't love that you can have a mindset of, yeah, we're looking to add, and then all of a sudden the offer was too good to pass up. Like, that's not direction. That's not a plan. You either need to be buying to make your team better or selling to make your team better for the future. And again, we can have the debate on if you want him to be the guy making picks for the future, But again, that doesn't make me feel good listening to him. The Packers on the podium, whether it's Mark Murphy, Matt LaFleur, or Brian Gutekunst, never have me walking away feeling confident. And that's what I'd want to hear right now. I don't feel confident. What say you, Brad?
I say he's lost. I say that there is no plan, and if there is a plan, he's certainly not staying committed to it. I really believe that his entire philosophy and his entire way he's building this team, he is currently lost. I think he had conviction in the moves that he made, dismantling this roster that was littered with talent and littered with success, and then he thought that he could bring down sweeping change in order to, kind of do a passing of the torch, so to speak, from Rodgers to Love and Devontae Adams to this young crop of wide receivers. I think that was the plan, but I think he is utterly lost in that plan now, to where nothing is going how he thought it would. And all of a sudden we're making decisions that does not go in concert with this rebuild function. I mean, think about it. There's really no legitimate vets on this team that are at least contributing. You had an inability to refill the wide receiver coffers as you knew guys were entering free agency and as you knew you were getting rid of Devontae Adams. You've methodically made this team worse every chance he's gotten, and hope for this Packer organization for the future is at an all-time low. None of the picks have hit. Maybe not none, too strong of a word. Very few picks have hit how you thought. We went through the 2021 draft. Very few of those players are contributing on this team or in the league in general. There's countless fires to put out. When we evaluate this team, it's hard to pick what side of the ball, what position group we should even focus on, because there's so many fires, there's so many holes. And this whole trade deadline really shed light on it, because he wasn't thinking about making any trades. That was the plan. And then poop, and an offer on the table.
It fell into my lap.
It felt like it was just like out of the blue. Okay, I guess we're just doing this then. And then he speaks further on wanting to add pieces to a rebuilding year, therefore giving up draft capital. That makes no sense to me. And then the final thing, additionally said from ESPN.com from our friend Rob Demoski, who we're going to speak with later, in the context of evaluating Love, he said and how kind of a challenge that's been. There's 10 games left, and those are important 10 games. He said, when the group as a whole is not functioning the way it should, meaning the offense, then it's hard to evaluate anybody. You have to evaluate Jordan Love this year, and you put around him a situation where you even admit it's hard to evaluate anyone. So not only are we putting this Packer hope and future in major question marks, this was an evaluatory year. You aren't even able to evaluate. He is lost.
800-990-3776. Again, 800-990-3776. Do you believe in Brian Gutekunst's plan? He doesn't know what he's doing.
So, yes, he does not know what he's doing. But here's my thing. When I look at this and I look at a man, when I see him speak, especially today during the press conference, is I see a very stubborn man, a very headstrong man, a man that cannot admit that he is currently failing. I want you all to know this right now. He has been the GM since 2018. The Packers have 3 winning seasons during that time, and they're going to have 3 losing seasons during that time. When I look at the Packer franchise and I look at this organization, we have not had 3 losing seasons in 6 seasons. I can't even go back to no win, and definitely not during the Kyle Walsh era of the Green Bay Packers. And that's we'll start 1992. I was born in 1990, but 92 until now, I can't remember a team failing like this for the Green Bay Packers. And the person who has been in charge of evaluating talent and basically putting the food on the table for Matt LaFleur to cook has been Goody, and Goody has consistently failed this team with his stubbornness. So when I hear him in a press conference have the audacity to talk about adding and not even thinking about making deals, is he not watching the same thing the rest of us are watching? We're watching a team struggle. We're watching a team have no identity. We are watching a team that has so much youth that they have no idea what they're doing. We are watching a team all run routes in the same area at the same time. They are failing not only Jordan Love, but they're failing this team, and he is failing this organization. And this is very, very, very painful, is that he does not recognize this, and his stubbornness is keeping him from seeing the reality in the bigger picture of something isn't going right. I'm telling y'all right now, the Packers are in a very, very bad position with Brian Gutekunst, because Goody has no idea what he is doing. A 10-year-old playing Madden would understand that this team needs to get blown up.
10-year-old Kyle Wallace would be able to.
Oh yeah, 10-year-old Kyle Wallace would have traded. He would have made lots of moves, got more picks. I would have been looking.
You had a Super Bowl. We might not have had any picks right now, but probably a Super Bowl.
But here's the thing. We can even go to the point of that. When you look at teams that want to win, you had a quarterback that was in 2 conference championship games in back-to-back years. And instead of doing things to add to his team, instead of making the big splash and try to add pieces, because he can talk about adding pieces, he doesn't add pieces. I don't know why he tried to lie to us and talk about
that's probably the biggest thing that needs to be called out. That's a bald-headed lie right there.
It's a bold-faced lie. That's exactly what it is. But when we had an opportunity to actually have the players and the pieces in place to potentially get over the hump, he did absolutely nothing to get this team over the hump. As a Packer fan, it pains me to watch the Buccaneers go and get Tom Brady. It pains me to watch the 49ers year after year go get Christian McCaffrey, go get Chase Young, go get the pieces they need to try to win. So the
Chase Young one is the interesting one because, a third-round pick is what the Packers are, I wouldn't say they're celebrating getting, but, that is what they got for Rasul. But they're going to use that draft pick, and they continue to use their draft picks, where those draft picks aren't used as pieces to help the team get better when they had the opportunity to do so.
And a person who understands themselves, right? They understand that, you know what? I may not be the best at drafting, but I have pieces here, and you know what? Forget these potential prospects that I failed on. Let me trade this pick to build this team around Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, the roster that Devontae Adams, the roster that we have now. He is somebody who has no idea what he's doing, and he's not very self-aware, and he's very stubborn, and it is failing the Packers organization. It is failing fans as well, and we are in for a long haul with this guy here because he has no idea to get us out this funk and this trouble and this sorriness that we're in.
This was also Brian Gutekunst. I think this is worth playing as well. He talked about, a little bit of the wide receiver room and how he wishes they were further along, which, again, build me some confidence. You picked these guys, bud.
I would have expected better results, but the guys they're putting the work in. They're doing things the right way. We've certainly seen a lot of glimpses in practice and certainly in the second half of some games, but the consistency hasn't been there. But again, I really do believe in the group in that building and the coaching staff, and I think big things are ahead. It's just gonna, we got to get through these things. We got to learn from them. We got to, stay grounded to the process. And if we do that, I think the results will come.
I know you don't want to hear his name. Do you know who called out the consistency of the young guys in the wide receiver room? Aaron Rodgers.
You have to pay attention of what Brian Gutekunst says first, right? He said the very first thing he says is, "I expected more." Right when he came up talking about the Jordan Love thing, when asked how much would you rather not take more time to figure out if he's the answer? I hope not. We've got 10 games left. These are very important games. And then he goes into talking about, but he's done some really good things, all that kind of stuff. That first reaction, that first sentence, that's really telling on what he feels about it. I think he's having a oh crap moment. This is not working out. And I'm looking around these teams. I thought I could just sprinkle in a bunch of different young pieces and it's all going to work out. That's not how it works.
And you know who he's going to point the finger at?
LaFleur.
He's going to point the finger at Matt LaFleur, the man that came here and took over a team that had back-to-back losing seasons and turned them into a 13-4, I believe 13-3, 13-4, 13-4 team that got you to the NFC Championship game. He's going to blame that guy, the guy that has proven when you give him the right recipe, you give him the right ingredients, he's able to at least win football games. You're the one that has failed to give him the right ingredients to win championships, and the audacity to sit here and know he's going to blame Matt LaFleur for the development of these guys.
I mean, I'll just provide evidence to what you're saying because there's evidence behind what you're saying, Kyle. So we talk a lot about these first and second year wide receivers. Well, in the Packers organization, we see them thrive 3, 4, 5 years into being with the Green Bay Packers, whether it's been having a veteran to help them in the wide receiver room or having Hall of Fame quarterbacks, because that definitely does help. But when you think about providing your pick, your guy, Jordan Love, that you traded up to go get in 2021, which they would have been third-year players. Eric Stokes. Got to lift my clown mask up as I'm wearing because I'm Brian Gutekunst. Eric Stokes, Josh Myers, Amari Rodgers, Royce Newman, TJ Slayton, Cole Van Lanen, Kylan Hill, Isaiah McDuffie. That was the 2021 NFL draft. We can go to 2020 and say, hey, look, A.J. Dillon, Josiah DeGuara, those were your second and third round draft picks to help Jordan Love. Nobody in 2020 or 2021 or anybody that he could have signed when he traded Devontae Adams away is on this roster to help them develop where they're at right now. And so again, if he's going to point at LaFleur for the reason why guys are running into each other, well, guess what? You did not provide him a fair opportunity based off your incompetency in the drafting in 2020 and 2021.
And I would double down to even the 2023 draft. Like, you have to be careful on too much expectations for rookies. And I do think,
of course,
I do think the tight end, I'm totally blanking.
Josiah DeGuara?
Nope.
Luke Musgrave.
Luke Musgrave. Yep. He does have a lot of talent that jumps off the page, and there's a lot of potential there. But I'm watching Sam Laporta and Michael Mayer make catches and make plays and be impactful guys on their team this year. There is an opportunity to go get those guys if you wanted to and really lean into the tight end position. So it's one of those things where it's like, not only are the draft picks of old not panning out, the new ones, it feels like they're far from other options that the Packers might have had. Again, questioning, do we even want this guy making the draft?
800-990-3776. Again, 800-990-ESPN. Let's go to Diana in McGuanago. She loves Kyle Wallace. I don't think I can help you get something signed by Mark Tausch, or do you have something else?
Yes, I do, dear. I am not going to talk about that anymore.
All good.
Anyhow, I have a happy note about the Green Bay Packers.
Let's hear it.
I really do. I was down at the Bucks game Monday night because we're season ticket holders, and I got my picture taken with Eric Stokes and Quay Walker.
That's fantastic. Unfortunately, Eric Stokes has not been able to find the field, and Quay Walker, I guess, is a good piece.
Yeah, I know. Cool. But it still was a happy moment.
All right, well, I'm glad you are having some happiness just by taking pictures.
Yeah,
I don't get happiness out of taking pictures with guys that aren't helping my team win or that can't stay on the field. Now, I'm not blaming Eric Stokes. I think injuries are a part of the game, but golly gee Williker, a first-round pick that has not helped this team since 2021, not a great sight. This is where I want to go next. Wilde and Tausch do this every single year. I didn't think we'd be revisiting it this early, but I think there's some merit to what my former co-host Greg Scalzo had said. It was the Bold-a-thon, right? I think the Bold-a-thon was in September 6th or 7th this year. Kyle was on the Bold-a-thon, Brad was on the Bold-a-thon, Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Every personality you can imagine gave an opinion, a strong prediction for the 2023 Packer season. Greg Scalzo, formerly of Scalzo and Brust, now our big boss here. We call Greg Big Boss. He's the big boss at ESPN Milwaukee. And not ESPN Madison, but he's got to play in it all. Greg Scalzo gave his Bowl-a-thon prediction. I can't wait for you to listen. It is maybe spot on. Next.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN.
Is steak appropriate for lunch? And then your thoughts on Jordan Love.
Oh, absolutely. Steak's appropriate, especially if you cut it up, put it on salad. Woo! Steak's good anytime.
It was all meat, baby. No salad for me today.
Yeah, you like that.
Presented by Bud Light on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. Football Guy.
My biggest criticism of what they did from a roster building perspective is that they gave him no one of experience to throw to. No one.
Football Guy.
Yeah, I just think that this team is better than what they put out there on Monday. I am not buying all this. I get they're young.
Wilde and Tausch. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Also sponsored by Coors Light. Weekdays 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN. And available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
This is the year to buy the woman you love a big anniversary diamond.
What's a big anniversary diamond?
A big anniversary diamond is any diamond that's at least twice as big as the one in her engagement ring.
Why twice as big?
A big anniversary diamond says, I love you twice as much today as the day I married you.
People are always so happy when they see the price we can give them.
Kessler's has wonderful prices on 1 carat, carat and a half, 2 carat, and 3 carat big anniversary diamonds.
People will ask you about your big diamond everywhere you go.
So big anniversary diamonds are the hot new trend?
It began with men buying big anniversary diamonds for the women they love, but now it's gone to a whole new level.
Women are now buying big anniversary diamonds for their men.
Women are saying two can play that game.
I like games that two can play.
Everybody likes games that two can play.
Welcome to Kessler's.
For the location nearest you, go to KesslersDiamonds.com.
Hey, this is Bo stepping in for Ridgetop Larry, here to tell you about Ridgetop Exterior's most affordable payment options, including no interest and low interest financing. For your free estimate, visit ridgetopexteriors.com. Roofing, siding, windows, and doors, visit ridgetopexteriors.com.
Life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance because you'll feel protected no matter how the wind blows. Also, you can keep enjoying the home of your dreams. And our expert agents can help you save up to 23% when you bundle home with auto. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. American Family Insurance. Get a quote? Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Here's another remarkable success story from QC Kinetics. This one from Chad, who hurt his knee at the gym one day, and it just kept on hurting for months.
From my high school football and wrestling days, I already had a little bit of damage in there, but this just sent it over the edge.
Chad tried traditional treatments with no improvement when he turned to the non-surgical regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics.
It was really fascinating how they did their work, and the science behind it was very intriguing, and it works. Extracting the cure out of my own body blew my mind. It's like I'm brand new again. It was fantastic.
That's because the QC Kinetics natural biologic treatments use your body's own healing power to restore damaged tissue in your hips, shoulders, back, and knees, providing long-lasting relief.
Now I'm back at the gym. I'm 100% feeling great.
If you're tired of suffering with pain from arthritis or injury, call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Hi everyone, John Miller here from PDS, a Converge company. PDS has been providing technology solutions and transforming IT for area companies for over 30 years. Today, we are helping organizations integrate digital workplace strategies that are giving today's worker the true ability to work from anywhere as they balance work and life both securely and productively. And as HP's largest partner in the area, our combined solutions have never been more important. If you're struggling with this, know we stand ready to help. From ideation to transformation, we can help you evolve your work from anywhere strategy. Learn more at pdsit.net.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit fighting to save lives, protect our climate, and strengthen our economy through the shift to zero emissions. Visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
The guys they're putting the work in, they're doing things the right way. We've certainly seen a lot of glimpses in practice and certainly in the second half of some games, but the consistency hasn't been there. But again, I really do believe in the group in that building and the coaching staff, and I think the big things are ahead. It's just gonna, we got to get through these things. We got to learn from them. We got to, stay grounded to the process, and if we do that, I think the results will come.
That was Brian Gutekunst earlier talking with the media, and I think, Brad, you had hit it. It's not the meat of the conversation, it's how he started the conversation. Kyle Brust and Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin. Ben Brust dressed as Brian Gutekunst today. You can see me on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee. Yesterday I was Brad Nortman. Today I'm Brian Gutekunst. Kyle Wallace, the heartbeat of the show here, and homeboy Chris running the show. 800-990-3776 is the number to get into the show. I did not know that Diana had more to say. She called me rude on the text line. I'm sorry, Diana. I will never let that happen again, but I didn't think...
You better be nice to our Diana.
Yeah.
Our dirty Diana.
She's a big Kyle Wallace fan. Dirty Diana?
Dirty Diana.
Is that a song?
Yeah.
I don't know it.
Michael Jackson song.
I don't know.
You don't know anything.
Not a huge Michael Jackson fan.
That's okay.
But.
So this is something that I was like, holy cow. I mean, because I'm not of the camp personally. Look, I'm not the biggest Matt LaFleur fan. I think he squandered some opportunities, but I do not believe he was set up for success in the 2023 season. And when I thought about that, I thought about my former co-host, Greg Scalzo. Used to hear Scalzo and Brust 4 to 6 across ESPN Wisconsin. And we joined Wilde and Tausch, along with many others, for the Boldathon, in which you were supposed to give a bold prediction for the 2023 season. I want you to listen to this one and let it resonate for a second.
But I will be bold here. I will say, and when we talk about Joe Barry remaining as coach, I wonder how much of that is, hey, look, that's Matt LaFleur's lane. It's something he can ultimately control, so he's going to control it and surround himself with people that he's comfortable with. With that being said, I will make the bold prediction that this is Matt LaFleur's final season in Green Bay.
Wow!
No wonder you guys are going off the air.
I think at the end of the season, in which the Packers will finish in last place in the division, there will be a quote-unquote mutual parting of ways between Matt LaFleur and the Packers. He will go and find other opportunities in the NFL, and the Packers will move on as Goody continues to try to gobble up as much power as he can within that building.
I will
You
say
wanted bold.
this.
That's bold. You wanted bold.
I
gave
wanted
you
bold. That is as bold can get, Wildy.
We have this show completely recorded, if Jesse's doing his job correctly. If we are revisiting this in January and this actually occurs,
Scals is hosting for the full week.
we will be carrying him around in one of those thrones from like ancient times where there's a bunch of us on each side holding the throne up above our heads, because this is by far the boldest we've got.
These two had the boldest takes, which I'm not surprised by.
No, that's who they are.
And I'll say this: if you don't think there's some angst amongst Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst, I don't think you're paying attention. So, do I agree with what Scals is saying? No, I don't think they're going to be that bad, and I think Matt LaFleur really likes this job, and I think he's okay in this scenario, but I do think that there is a lot of tension. Maybe you can say it's healthy, maybe it's not, between Goody and Matt LaFleur, and even with good teams, when there's all of that tension, when things go sideways, you have already heard Goody be very critical of Matt LaFleur with the game plan against Kansas City. And, well, that's not my role. So it's something to pay attention to. I don't think it's going to get there, but I definitely, my ears perked up when you just said that.
My favorite part about that was when Greg said it. Tausch was like, well, if he's right, he gets to host for a week. Are you already taking a week? I took a shot at old T, which I love to do. But my biggest takeaway there is, again, Tausch had said it. If you don't think there is angst between Goody and LaFleur, and mind you, this was back in September on the Wildy and Tausch Boldathon. That was former co-host of mine, Greg Scalzo, predicting that there would be a mutual parting of ways. Don't you think that angst and tension grows when you've lost 4 straight, and as a coach you feel as if you don't have what you need to win football games, and the general manager is the one making those decisions? Like, again, what's more likely? I don't think he's going to get fired, but I don't think Greg is far off. It is a possibility. He's like, look, I'm not the guy for this rebuild. I'm not the guy for these young players. I've showed I can win 13 straight games, or 13 games, 3 straight seasons. I maybe want to look at other things. And Brian, maybe you need to look for somebody to build this team.
Yeah, Greg's prediction is eerily accurate, or at least trending in that direction. Trending. I don't think he's going to get fired at the end of the year. I would be surprised as well if he elects to step down, resign, parting of ways, whatever. Because to me, I would think that if you're going to be around for the pain, you might as well be around for a little bit of the return, at least a chance of the return in next year. However, there are 2 things.
But you just said chance.
A chance, but you
don't know.
But there's also only 32 jobs of head coaching in the NFL. I think if Matt LaFleur would get another head coaching job, I just don't know if it comes as quickly or as easy as everybody thinks.
13 straight games. 13.
He had Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, sure, he had Aaron Rodgers, but my point is again, if you put him in the right situation, I think he could turn some teams around. And
I think so too. I just think that this would be such a stain and such a bad taste in teams' mouths to hire him that I think he would at least want to stay around for the upswing, because it can't get much worse than this year. You'd think in 2024, even if it's the same cast and characters, a little bit of experience would help. But the unfortunate thing is, in a season like this, there's always a fall guy, whether it be the assistant coaches or the head coach, whoever, there's going to be a fall guy. I don't think it'll be all the way to Matt LaFleur, but I wouldn't be surprised if it gets even worse, if he might be on the hook for at least some of it.
A smart person can recognize when they're in a bad situation, right? You leave before things go completely haywire, before they get out of control. Everybody wants to control their own narrative. They want to be able to control their own destiny. Getting fired versus mutually agreeing to part ways keeps your legacy and your pride that, okay, he's still a good coach, but, he can point the finger towards Goody a little bit. But I think something that Mark said is that things can go sideways. That's when things go bad. Things have gone sideways, and they have gone unexpected for this Green Bay Packers organization. And there is something that he talked about is lack of trust. And that is exactly what we're seeing. And Ben has talked about it. I know Adam Schefter joined Jim, Gabe, and Chewy this morning, and he kind of mentioned, some maybe lack of trust. Not exactly those words, but there's a separation. There definitely is a separation between Matt LaFleur and Goody. And there also is this lack of trust that these two individuals have. And whenever you have a lack of trust, that leads to harmful things, thoughts, actions. And for this Green Bay Packers organization, it's going to lead to negative results. And so for them to get out of this, they have to move on from one of them, because a relationship with no trust.
There's no relationship. It's fake.
Yeah, it's
a relationship with no trust is very unhealthy, and you can go nowhere with this. In the Green Bay Packers organization, one thing they have been over the last 30 years has been consistent and has been healthy, financially healthy. The talent on the team has been healthy in the sense of successful. But right now, when you have this problem where these guys aren't seeing eye to eye, you are going down again. You're going down a dangerous pathway that could impact this team beyond the years that LaFleur or Goody will be here or Mark Murphy will be here. And it'll be somebody else's mess that Matt LaFleur called this to clean up.
800-990-3776. Kyle, you've never sounded smarter in your life than today. I love it. 800-990-ESPN. Lee in Twin Lakes.
My gosh.
Is that a compliment?
No, not going to do with a clown mask.
Lee in Twin Lakes, your thoughts on Goody?
He built this mess, and what has happened to this team is reminding me of when Mike Sherman was the GM. He turned it into a disaster. He got fired when the team went 4-12. Ted Thompson made that decision, and then he had to rebuild it. And this is eerily looking just like that team. And he's made some really, really bad decisions with draft picks and right on down the line. And he created a lot of the turmoil that's going on. Feeling Rodgers needed to go, and he had to make his statement, this is my quarterback, and we're going with it. And it was on a guy who wasn't even interested in leaving. So he created the mess with Rodgers. He created the mess with Devontae and him wanting out of there. All they had to do was give him an extension, and he wasn't asking to break the bank. I mean, he just wanted to be where he wanted to be
prioritized. Yeah, he just wanted to be prioritized. And by the time Goody offered him, the Raiders had offered something similar in which, he was like, can I get over there? And Goody shipped him. And thank you for the call, Lee. And when Goody shipped him, that's where we continue to go back to 2020, 2021. Those were the drafts in which, if you are going to draft Jordan Love in the future replacement of Aaron Rodgers, those are the guys that were going to be the ones that would be making an impact right now. Instead, you're leaning on second and first year guys, which is nearly impossible. I'll say it over and over again. The last time that there was a wide receiver and tight end group this young, it was the 0-16 Browns. I don't think it's a coincidence that we're seeing struggles with the wide receivers and tight ends with a first-year starting quarterback. It's not a coincidence.
Well, and there's just so many strikes against him. It's like, not only did he not double down on the championship window he had in 2020 and 2021, which we can see other good GMs doing, but he also didn't even draft guys that could contribute during those runs. And not only that, those guys that he drafted for a long-term time horizon are also not hitting, and he's also not hitting on guys this year and creating such a young roster that you can't even evaluate anyone. That is just a recipe for disaster.
The thing is this, Aaron Rodgers is a very smart guy. We can be mad at him all we want for the way he acted on the way out and the things that he did while he was still here before he was on his way out. But one thing Aaron Rodgers knows, he knows talent. He understands people with skills. He understands people he can trust. And Aaron Rodgers has been trying to tell us year after year, when they were calling him Jerry Krause, they were calling him Jerry Krause because he was trying to tear this team apart and they didn't have any talent to pass the torch to. And so Aaron Rodgers knew that this Green Bay Packer team without him, and knew the future that they had, was not very talented. He wasn't trying to be a jerk. He was just trying to keep it real with everybody to say, listen, this guy continues to miss time after time.
Man, Kyle's 8 for 8 today. I love it. You're 8 for 8.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm glad this is my best show here. My goodness.
No, you're just saying a lot of things I agree with.
I guess so.
800-990-3776. That's how you can get in touch with us on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee. You can see me dressed up as Brian Gutekunst as he talked to the media today. Coming up next, KBN Academy and Kyle Brust and Nortman, presented by the official beer of the NFL. Bye-bye.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, presented by Bud Light.
Jordan Love is the first black starting quarterback for real since, who was it, Lynn Dickey?
Lynn Dickey. Wait, Lynn Dickey was no damn black.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Take it to the house this season and enjoy tailgating from your own backyard. Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. You can win game day gear for your next gathering by entering to win at Tito'sTailgate.com. Be sure to enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill, a Brewmate back tap for batch cocktails, or a Tito's football jersey. For official rules, visit Tito'sTailgate.com. Must be 21 years old to enter. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Are you tired of looking at a dirty, dusty, and cracked garage and looking for a fresh new look? Hi, this is ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta, and I'm here to tell you about Floor Shield by Showtime Floors. Using a state-of-the-art coating 4 times stronger than traditional epoxy, it's tough enough to be used in military bases and airports. Floor Shield is certified as an anti-slip floor and also eco-friendly, all while being UV stable, and my favorite part, easy to clean. This makes it perfect for outdoor spaces, just like your patio. Check it out at ShowtimeFloors.com and work with a specialist to transform your space in as little as one day.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here. A couple years ago, my knee was acting up. As an athlete, I've played through pain before, but it was getting to the point where I couldn't compete in the sports I loved. I decided to check out Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. It's the best decision I've made. I felt no pressure to have surgery. That was important to me. We had choices. I ultimately did choose to have a procedure. I was in and out in just hours and back in action shortly after. I recommend meeting their doctors. Visit orthowisconsin.com today.
The Saganiac Planning Fantastic Finish, January 20th, 2006. A Big East battle at home against Notre Dame. It's 65 all, and Marquette inbounded the ball from midcourt with 12 seconds left. Down to 5 seconds, Joe Chapman on the right wing passed to Steve Novak, who ran in front of Chapman to get the pass. Novak dribbled into the right corner, and with 2 seconds left, faded to the right, put up a jumper just inside the three-point line. It was money. Oh, baby, final. Marquette 67, Notre Dame 65. Who makes dental and vision insurance simple? That's easy. Delta Dental of Wisconsin. If you ask yourself who encourages you to use your dental and vision benefits for preventative care, provides quick service, offers access to the largest provider networks, and helps you save money when you need more than a checkup, there's only one answer. Definitely Delta Dental. For more information, call Eric Pearson, Saganiac Planning, 262-783-6161. Eric Pearson, Saganiac Planning, named synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service.
Tired of power outages disrupting your life? Make them a thing of the past by getting a Generac home standby generator from Adams Generators. Adams Generators is the largest and #1 rated Generac dealer in Wisconsin. With 24/7 emergency support, our factory-trained technicians are standing by to assist you. Visit adamspower.com/generators to make sure your power always stays on. That's adamspower.com/generators.
Guten Tag! Matt and Katie here with Milwaukee Pretzel Company.
You know, we love a good donut, but we're here to tell you there's a new office and party snack in town.
That's right. Milwaukee Pretzel Company now offers catering for pickup and delivery on weekdays.
Order our traditional Bavarian soft pretzel twists or our pillowy bites along with your choice of dips for an exceptional treat.
And you can get 20% off when you use the code catering20 at MilwaukeePretzel.com.
That's catering20 at MilwaukeePretzel.com.
Wow, Matt, you made it through without getting cheesy.
Well, I'm not your average pretzel spokesperson.
And there it is.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's has focused on feeding Wisconsin families. And though Palermo's has grown a lot since 1964, they're still family-owned. They're still proud to call Milwaukee home. And they're still committed to making the best frozen pizza possible. From their new and improved rising crust pizzas to their guilt-free Primo thin pies, Palermo's has a delicious slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer food aisle. Palermo's. Flavor is our family's business.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, presented by Bud Light, the official beer of the NFL, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
I'm sorry, Diana. I'll never hang up that quick on you. Don't be mad at me. 800-990-3776. Ben Brust here, dressed as Brian Gutekunst. I got my clown mask on, doing my best Goody impression. Kyle Wallace, the heartbeat of the show. Brad Nortman, 6-time 6-year NFL punter. And homeboy Chris running the show. 800-990-3776. Let's go to Cheesehead Bucky at Camp Randall. Hit us, Cheesehead.
What's up, guys? So I agree with about 85% of everything you're saying when it comes to Good. Good has botched the drafts. He obviously botched the signing of Devontae. But I will say that when he did make the Smith brothers signing, when he did get Amos, those were great signings. Those did help us get up to a different level, even though in those last games, well, besides the 49ers game, because the 49ers, the D gave up, 6 points?
I think it was 13-10. But your point is well taken.
But the special team touchdown, though, that wasn't on the defense.
Correct.
That was a block.
Yeah, so I really do agree. And we got KBN Academy coming up, so appreciate the call, Cheesehead Bucky at Camp Randall. Love the name as well. But that was 2019. That was heading into the 2019 season. Like, I'm willing to give him credit. It was the first time. Ted Thompson, draft and develop. But the drafting and develop was working. And for Goody to go out there with the cap money to bring in Adrian Amos, Billy Turner, who made a good impact, I believe, as a swing tackle for this Packers team, and then the Smith brothers. They definitely played an impact. But again, the team was building something. You still had offensive weapons. Right now, you give them all this cap space, you're just trying to piece together a roster that's going to be moving forward together. And he's put us in this situation since then. And you can give credit when credit's due, but you have to give blame when you're looking at as youthful of an offense as they have and watching them perform in the way that they have. Like I said, poor Matt LaFleur goes up to the podium and has to answer questions, and he's like, man, this sucks. This is what I'm working with. Let's go to a little KBN Academy.
In radio, our goal's pretty simple.
Just so you know, you really suck.
Have an A show or an F show.
Hey, I'll decide who sucks around here.
The same goes for topics in this next segment. This is the KBN Academy.
Those that can't do, teach.
Since I have to read here, I got to take off my Brian Gutekunst clown mask, as it's KBN Academy. I'm Ben Brust, one of your professors. Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman. There are also some professors here. We asked some questions. You can only get an A or an F. There's no B's, C's, or D's, or anything else in between. Experts say that having too many showers might be bad for your health. The ideal frequency depends on your skin, hair type, and how much you sweat and get dirty. 66% of Americans say they shower every day. A or F, you shower more than once a day.
Generally speaking, that's an F. It would take something, I don't know, like once a month, twice a month. I might shower twice because I'll always wake up, get a workout in, and shower. But then, like, if I do something like yard work or something like that, maybe I'll shower again later in the day. But I don't do it like out of routine if I didn't do anything to sweat. I want to know who the 33% or 34% of people that don't shower every day. That doesn't sound right.
I mean, you shower every day?
Yeah, I shower every day.
I mean, so you saying
so
that,
Kyle's we found it.
Wait a minute.
We found it.
Okay,
I guess 2 of 3 here.
All right,
I mean, that's
wait
perfect.
Wait a minute. If you have, okay, so you do something on Saturday, right? You shower on Saturday, and Sunday you lay around all day. You have nowhere to be but at home. You still shower?
Yeah,
I will.
What time? Like when?
Whenever I feel like I need to wake myself up.
No, I mean, I just wake up. I've gone usually,
but like
even a non-workout day, I'll still shower.
But that's what I'm saying.
Just
even if I sit around all day Sunday and watch football from noon until 10 p.m.
When do you shower? At 10 p.m.?
You could, whatever. It doesn't, like, you have time from when you wake up until noon, and then you have time in between halftime. Like, I'll do it at halftime, but like sitting around just eating food like a slob in my sweatpants?
In your filth?
I'm no slob, okay? I may lay in my filth. I'm no slob. But I was going to say this was an F as well because they made it sound like people don't need to shower as much as they do. I think you should be showering, and I shower almost every single day. I mean, most days. I mean, I 365
So now when you say almost every single day.
Probably 340 45 days, 50 days out of the year. 350 days. 350 days out of the year, I probably shower.
So Pat in Oregon chimes in. Oregon, excuse me, we're in Wisconsin. What do people that don't shower every day do with their hair? My hair's a disaster every morning that I wake up. Well, when you're Kyle and you have dreads,
dreads? I mean, what?
Do you not have to wash dreads?
No, you should wash dreads. You don't need to wash. You should not be washing them every single day. You don't need to wash dreads every day. No, I mean, hair wise, I mean, I don't. If I had a low cut, I wouldn't need to do anything with my hair.
But that's the thing is the Pat in Oregon comment is like, I don't know. I feel like my hair's like, I don't know, just greasy. I'm not right.
Yeah,
I'm with you, Brad.
Maybe it's cultural. I don't know. I feel
I'm an F here, but I'm at least once a day, and today I'm twice a day. Like I showered this morning before going to work, and I have hoops tonight, and I got to shower after.
That makes sense.
I know, but I'm just saying in general. Even if I feel like I'm any bit of sticky from this studio, we've had some times where it smelled like smoke, and we got 3 dudes in here, and it's getting 80 degrees, and I get a little sticky, from the.
I smell good.
I even hate saying sticky. I have to shower because I want to get into the bed nice and clean. There's just something about it. Makes me sleep better.
I keep it nasty, baby.
Didn't need to hear that.
Just like Tiger. Play it, Chris. Make it nasty. That's when we come back.
Poor girlfriend. Rashawn Gary has inked his 4-year, $96 million deal. ARF, you're happy with that?
I'm an A. I like Rashawn Gary. He's an animal. I called him a zombie yesterday, and one of those tenacious, relentless, don't ever stop zombies. That's exactly how I want my defensive ends to be, and he is that. And whether we're rebuilding or not, he's the guy that I want on my team. Rashawn Gary, you earned it. Go get him.
I'm all with keeping Gary. There's very few guys on this team that I'm falling in line behind and saying we got to keep this guy. Rashawn is one that we have to keep. He's proven what type of havoc he can wreak when he is healthy. He's on the field. So you got to keep a guy like that because that is a building piece for a championship team.
Yeah, this is an A. If you want a guy as you rebuild over the next 3-4 years, if you believe that you have a plan to get better, this is the right move by Brian Gutekunst. Rashawn Gary, off of an ACL injury, has played pretty well. Usually it takes that year to plant your foot in the ground and bull rush somebody, spin move, move around. You have to learn to re-trust that knee. The fact that he's not going to need that year, and I'm sure, he's been on a little bit, I'll say it for the person to come up, a snap count. Because he's been on a snap count, he's still been efficient with that. Wait till we get my man in a full, he can hold the edge. Well, we need to work on that a little bit in the run game. But regardless, no matter what, if you get him in a third down package, he is going to make you think twice about, do you need to chip him? Do you need help? And that type of guy is somebody you need on your team, and he will set the right example for a Lucas Van Ness if you think he's going to grow up with this team. That's what I'm saying. And that's why I'm very, very much an A+ on keeping Rashawn Gary. That's it for the KBN Academy here on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman. We're going to hear from Adam Schefter, who joined Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Mornings 94.5 ESPN. Because we missed Are You Smarter Than Ben Brust on Tuesday, which was yesterday, we will be doing it at the top of the hour today, so make sure you stay tuned. For Are You Smarter Than Ben Brust, we hear about the separation of church and state. That's how Schefter describes the Green Bay Packers and their siloed approach. It's a problem. And to hear Schefter talk about it makes me feel like it's even more a problem. That's next on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN.
You also say chaos weird.
Chaos?
It's there's an os at the end.
Yeah,
chaos.
he really chaos.
Chaos.
It's chaos. It's
chaos.
just chaos. Chaos.
Chaos.
Is it one syllable or two?
Chaos.
Two syllables.
Chaos. Let's try and make it one syllable when you say it. How about
chaos?
Be like, chaos.
I'm going to do what I'm doing.
Presented by Bud Light on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. The brand new 94.5 ESPN. It's a little like the old 94.5 ESPN.
Chewy knows the most facts of anyone on the show.
Thank you, Jason.
You're welcome.
Bringing us, for keeping us our third Hall of Fame potential quarterback.
But also a whole lot different. Kyle, Brust, and Nortman from 2 to 5.
Next to y'all swanging and wanging all over the place. I don't think I want.
And the Homer Hour from 5 to 6.
I don't care where you're picked. I just care how good you are.
Tune in every day to the new ESPN Milwaukee.
Fleet Farm's got even more Black Friday Now deals for those who just can't wait. Baronet's Radar Hunting Blind is on sale for only $89.99. And get 50 pounds of Safe Step rock salt for just $4.99 a bag. Save on 20-pound bags of KT Wild Bird Food, now only $8.99. Plus, get select sizes of whole cashews and mixed nuts for only $5.99. Enjoy these Black Friday Now deals and more at Fleet Farm, home of everything you need for everyday life.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA, founder of Right Choice Tax Resolution, and best-selling author on how to have less stress with the IRS. Why do so many people live years with back tax problems? You didn't file one year because you were sick or thought you couldn't pay. Then next year you didn't file again. Soon you think you can't file. You do things that don't make sense or may be illegal. Don't bury your head in the sand and hope the problem will go away. It will only get worse unless you make the right choice and step up to get them off your back. Do you want your paycheck garnished, a lien on your house, your passport revoked, or your bank account wiped out? We help reduce or eliminate penalties, negotiate payment plans, and file back tax returns. My latest book has advice on what to do to avoid trouble with the IRS. Make the right choice. Go to rightchoicetax.us to book a call or in-person meeting right now. We know you want to take the first step in getting the IRS off your back so you can live again. That's rightchoicetax.us.
Wisconsin is still cattle country. And that's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand-select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top-quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Bunzels.com.
Where is your pain? Is it in your knees, hips, your back? Don't let it sideline you any longer. And don't let them tell you that surgery is your only option. Call QC Kinetics now. It's the future of pain relief. Hey, this is Brad Nortman, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, restoring and repairing damaged joint tissue the natural way. This is the science of using properties from your own body to bring you lasting relief with no drugs and no downtime. QC Kinetics is trusted by patients all across America, over 150 clinics nationwide with advanced protocols that can get you moving again. So get started now and you can live big in 2024. These new advanced regenerative treatments are getting amazing reviews for people with arthritic pain and pain from an injury. Again, no drugs, no downtime, no surgery. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. Let their medical professionals give you a better path toward that pain-free life. Call 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Again, 414-285-3474.
Get your game on at the Island Resort and Casino with first-round picks of your favorite slots and table games. Bring friends and watch your favorite team compete on big screens. Grab game day eats in T. McSee's Sports Bar or celebrate your team's victory in Horizon's Steakhouse. To book your game time at the Island Resort and Casino, call 800-682-6040 today. This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Make it nasty, make it nasty. Drop it on the, make it nasty, make it nasty, make it nasty.
This was a Kyle Wallace request.
Make it nasty.
You know, we have, kids could be getting off of school right now, and the parents might have to tell them, hey, Dad, Mom, what's make it nasty mean?
It means don't shower, kids. Don't shower. Eat your candy and don't shower.
800-990-3776. You'll need that number for Are You Smarter Than Ben Brust coming up at the top of the hour, 3 o'clock. That being said, I do want to hear from Adam Schefter, who joined Jen, Gabe, and Chewy mornings 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN. As, again, a lot of our conversation post-Packer game on Sunday against the Vikings has been about where is the issue, right? Is organizationally, is it Murphy at the top? Is it Goody for getting the roster to the point that it is right now? Is it Matt LaFleur not executing? But I think it's always deeper, right? There's always a lot of layers into it. Here's what Shefty had to say.
To me, they've always run kind of independent there, right? Like the front office does its thing and the coaching staff does its thing. And it feels like it's church and state. And it does feel, to me, my perception from afar is that they do feel like a little bit separate. Whereas it does feel like there's in some places, a bit more connectivity in some of those decisions.
Right there. Like that's enough. Like if to me that is a problem. And even if Shefty says it's felt like that way for a long time, it's definitely enhanced in terms of them not being connected. We know that Matt LaFleur didn't go to the combine with Brian Gutekunst. We know that there is tension. We heard Mark Tauscher early talk about if you don't think there's angst between Goody and LaFleur, and this was before the season started, he said you're not paying attention. And in my mind, after hearing Goody talk at the podium today, after seeing Matt LaFleur at the podium after games, there has to be even more tension because, again, Matt's got to go out there and coach with what he's given, and Goody's going to be like, Matt, you're not doing a good enough job with the guys I believe in because I pick these guys.
It's hard to think of a more unhealthy environment, to be quite honest. And even with like the church and state thing, that's a good way for Schefter to describe it. But with church and state, they have different objectives, right? So it's like okay for them to work independently of one another. The Packers and Goody and LaFleur, they have the same objective. So when you have the same objective and you're not working together and you're not communicating and you're not on the same page, there's just no way that can work out well. I mean, I can't imagine if our listeners would be subjected to the terrible show that would be us not being able to pick what our segments are. Imagine we don't talk to somebody and they're like, hey, you have to talk about the St. Louis Cardinals today.
Or just imagine if you were managed by somebody that I wasn't managed by, and then I was managed by someone that you weren't managed by, and we did, and like we all had different show coaches.
Yeah,
that's what it feels like to me, right? Not working together to achieve the same goal, which is to come on these microphones with the red light on and see me wearing a clown mask of Brian Gutekunst, even though I didn't tell you guys I was going to do that anyway.
But it goes back to I don't know how that relationship can possibly flourish, and good talent can cover up a lot. Winning can cover up a lot. But over time, the reality of the situation will bubble to the surface. And now we are hitting a major reality check. So I don't know how they come back from this. But even if you get a new coach, new GM, you're still dealing with the same thing. These two will then have to, electively try to work together. It just doesn't make any sense. If I was Matt LaFleur, I would be so frustrated.
Yeah, you can only make things work for so long, and it's easy to make things work when things are going right. And when
you have a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah, and when they're not, eventually things will bubble up, right? You're going to have those issues, and that's why right now Goody has a decision to make. Goody has a decision because he's the one in charge of, again, cooking the, putting the players on the field, or at least picking the players that we put on the field, and he has a decision: do I blame the person I picked, or do I point the finger at somebody else that I had to work with? And that is the reality that he has to come to and understand. Is it Jordan Love's fault for the failures, or is it Matt LaFleur's fault? Does he say, you know what? Jordan still has it. Matt's the issue. Matt's the problem. We get rid of Matt and then we keep Jordan Love. What is the risk to this franchise? And that's where Mark Murphy, as the president of the organization, as the adult in this room, he has to come in and he has to make sure the right decisions are being made. You cannot.
That's a problem.
But you can't. But here's the thing. You can miss on a head coach. You cannot miss on a quarterback, because a quarterback, he can mask some of the failures of a coach. He can make a coach look better than what he actually is. A bad quarterback mixed with a good coach, look at what Bill Belichick looks like right now with bad quarterback play. And so that's why Mark Murphy needs to make sure all the right decisions are made in the evaluation period for the next 10 games, as Goody says. Is truly being evaluated, and the right decision is made at the end of the season. Because if Jordan Love is not the guy, and Goody decides that he wants to keep Jordan, and we want to get rid of Matt, again, you're risking being a bottom feeder for many, many years. And so this is what we're risking right now. And when you have two separate people trying to figure out how to work together, it never works. It absolutely never, ever works. And the Green Bay Packers, we're going to feel this pain because right now it's not working.
800-990-3776 on Twitter, at KBN ESPN, streaming on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee. We did not do it yesterday. 800-990-3776. Let's go with caller number 8 for Are You Smarter Than Ben Brust? And while we get you on the line, Brad, you got to tell us about, one of the great things you got going on.
Yeah, that's right. And the best thing that's going on, they always got it going on, is Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. And look, we're looking around this world. You can't control inflation. You can't control all these prices. I mean, everywhere we're looking around, things are crazy from a cost perspective. But there is a cost that you can decrease. You can dramatically lower your energy costs year-round, and that's by replacing those drafty windows and doors that you have, and winter's coming. So you're going to have to figure it out one way or the other. You're going to be paying a lot of money if you've got old windows and old doors in your home. And Pella Windows and Doors can have them installed new ones that help decrease your energy costs in as little as 6 weeks. You can take advantage of even more savings by no interest, no down payment for up to 36 months when you order by November 30th. So set your in-home consultation, free consultation today at PellaWI.com.
15 questions in 90 seconds and an opportunity for you to feel like you are going to have some bragging rights, because I'm 5-1, I believe, in the new era of Are You Smarter Than Ben Brust? 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Caller 9 to win a $25 gift card. That's next in 2 minutes. Do not go anywhere.
The all-new Potawatomi Casino Hotel has something you gotta see. Play more slots and games, and you could say, "Show me the money," to reveal up to 10 grand each Thursday. 800,000 in prizes is up for grabs. 40 winners each week. This October and November at Potawatomi, Milwaukee. When you're ready to win, just say, "Show me the money." More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.
Are you tired of looking at a dirty, dusty, and cracked garage and looking for a fresh new look? Hi, this is ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta, and I'm here to tell you about Floor Shield by Showtime Floors. Using a state-of-the-art coating 4 times stronger than traditional epoxy, it's tough enough to be used in military bases and airports. Floor Shield is certified as an anti-slip floor and also eco-friendly, all while being UV stable, and my favorite part, easy to clean. This makes it perfect for outdoor spaces, just like your patio. Check it out at ShowtimeFloors.com and work with a specialist to transform your space in as little as 1 day.
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Ashton Rotman with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week is Cedarburg football's Dan Gill. A Welsh transplant in the States to play the other kind of football, Gill has found a calling as a place kicker for Cedarburg. In the Division II playoffs this past weekend against Homestead, Gill sent a 27-yarder through the uprights as time ticked down, sealing a 17-16 win in the North Shore rivalry. A senior, Gill has been a big contributor of late for the Bulldogs, also nailing a game winner in Cedarburg's regular season finale. And now it's on to level 3 for Cedarburg football and the Welsh lad, who also excels on the soccer pitch. He has already earned a scholarship to play at UW Milwaukee next season, where he'll be a Panther. Congratulations to this week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Dan Gill.
Marquette Hall of Famer Tony Smith here. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Are You Smarter Than Ben Brust on 94.5 ESPN is presented by Lakeland University. Don't put your life on hold to earn your degree. Build a schedule that meets your needs. Lakeland.edu. Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, presented by Bud Light on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
KBN rolling along on a Wednesday. Usually on a Tuesday at this time, we're doing Are You Smarter Than Ben Brust, but we have just been jam-packed with Green Bay Packer material, trade deadline, Brian Gutekunst. We had to push it to today. But we will not forget about it. We will make sure that you can prove that you are indeed smarter than Ben Brust. Today, we've got Ted in Evansville as the contestant on Are You Smarter Than Ben Brust. Ted, how you doing today?
I was doing good until you actually answered the phone and said that I had to prove myself here, and now I'm starting to doubt myself. I'm getting nervous.
No. I love good old Evansville. You're the pride of Evansville now. You gonna knock off Ben Brust. I believe in you.
Ted, we're in your corner. We got you. And you're going to prove today.
All right, I got you. I got your back here. Let's take him down.
Let's got it. We got it. Let's go. He's on a 1-week losing streak. His confidence has been knocked, and it's time that we prove that, Ted, that you are smarter than Ben Brust. Let's not waste any time. Chris, let's ramp this up.
those of you who say Ben Brust is an idiot, here's your chance to be proven right. It's time to play Are You Smarter Than Ben Brust?
All right, Ted, just to remind you what the rules of the games are, it is 15
Ben's
questions.
cheating already.
He is cheating. He is lurking behind me right now. I'm doing my best to cover up the screen.
I mean,
this is classic Ben Brust.
He is right there, and he has 20/20 vision.
And he's got that creepy clown mask on, looking horrifying.
He's the real clown. That's what he is.
is.
My name is Ben Brust, and I'm the clown.
All right, so the rules of the game, once again, 15 questions in 90 seconds to get as many answers correct as you can. You're allowed to say pass, and we'll come back to it if we get through the rest. If you beat Ben Brust, you will win a $25 gift card. Does that make sense, Ted?
It makes sense, yep.
Awesome. Well, let's waste no more time, and we will get started in 3, 2, 1. What is the name of the narrow body of water that connects the Mediterranean and the Red Sea?
Nile Strait.
What is the capital city of China?
Hong Kong.
What is the name of a polygon with 7 sides?
Septagon?
What is 1/3 of 18?
6.
What punctuation mark is used at the end of the sentence to show a strong emotion?
Exclamation point?
What is the unit of measure for force?
Pass.
What is it called when liquid turns to gas?
Evaporation?
What is the largest planet in the solar system?
Mercury.
Who developed the theory of relativity?
Sir Isaac Newton.
Which English king had 6 wives?
Lucky one. King Henry.
Who was the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic?
Amelia Earhart.
What year did World War II begin?
1940. And
who painted the Mona Lisa?
Oh my God.
So if he gets
I don't know. I'm blanking on this right now. I don't know. I'll say Van Gogh, but I'm blanking.
Well, thanks for the sound effects, Chris. Okay.
My
Chris,
question is though, what did he say for the answer? What I didn't hear him. What did he say the answer was for the name of the polygon with 7 sides?
I believe it was I think you said septagon.
Something like that.
I thought he said Decepticon. Yeah, like Transformers. So
yeah.
I was make sure I didn't get that. So he said King Henry, but that was actually King Henry VIII. So we're gonna give that to him. You think?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we give it to him. We give it to
so
him.
then he had 5 correct.
5 correct. Hey, and for the record, I thought those were tough questions.
Nah, I ain't no 5th grader knowing those.
No.
Come on now.
Good job, Ted. I think you're going to beat Ben Brust. Can I say also that he's not the lucky one for how many guys 6
Hey,
left?
that
was
was
funny.
That was real.
I'm trying to stay on my game here and keep the questions going quick. That almost knocked me off my game.
He was a lucky one.
Yeah. Or is that unlucky?
I guess I was going to say that.
one is enough for all the right reasons.
Yeah. Hey, Ben.
What's up, y'all?
Put the mask on.
Well, I don't want to be Brian Gutekunst during this segment because then I'll definitely bleep it up.
I think you'll manifest like the clown mentality. I'm not sure that you'll be able to be as smart as you should be on this.
I'll go full Goody here.
All right. Ben Brust is wearing the clown masks as he does it. All right, Ben. This isn't your first time, but 15 questions in 90 seconds to get as many questions correct as you can. You're allowed to say pass. We'll come back to it if we get through the rest. And if you lose, our boy Ted in Evansville is going to get a $25 gift card.
Your boy, man. You guys made friends that quick?
Yeah. He's in our corner. We're rooting for him.
All right, here we go.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. What is the name of the narrow body of water that connects the Mediterranean and the Red Sea?
Some canal.
What is the capital city of China?
Shanghai.
What is the name of a polygon with 7 sides?
Septagon.
What is 1/3 of 18?
1/3 of 18 is 6.
What punctuation mark is used at the end of a sentence to show strong emotion?
That's an exclamation point.
What is the unit of measurement for force?
G's.
What is it called when liquid turns into gas?
I hate these questions. I got a D in chemistry. Pass.
What is the largest planet in the solar system?
The sun. No, that's not a planet. Let's go with Jupiter.
Who developed the theory of relativity?
Some loser. Next.
Which English king had 6 wives?
King Henry.
Who was the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic?
Amelia Earhart.
What year did World War II begin?
1946.
Who painted the Mona Lisa?
Leonardo da Vinci.
What is the smallest instrument in an orchestra?
The flute.
What is the chemical symbol for gold?
What? GD?
Back to the one back to the one you passed on. What's it called when a liquid turns into a gas?
Give me a hint.
Nope.
A fart?
Nice.
Counts if he gets it.
It's too late. I'm not getting it.
You know what GD is,
Well,
right?
Ben?
I think Ted had him beat.
No. Well, Ben?
He did?
Because you got the last question right on the previous one that you did. You've got 6. Ted got 5. You win.
I am unbelievable.
Wait. The last one he did?
The second to last one. Sorry. The Amelia Earhart one.
I mean, all I know is the
no, sorry. Was it the Amelia Earhart one? No, it was the Da Vinci one.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, you got.
Yes.
I guessed my way to a victory.
That's crazy.
What happened to the "Are You Smarter Than Ben" Brust contestants?
You just guessed Leonardo.
Chris, what's
da
my
Vinci?
record? Is it 7-1?
I think you're 6-1 now.
now.
You guys suck.
So did you know? So which ones? I want to know which ones he got correct.
Well, this is when we go through
he
it.
got number 1. He got half right. He said canal, but it's you don't get a half a point for that. It's a
Wait.
Suez Canal.
That's incorrect,
That's
right?
incorrect.
Yeah, it's incorrect.
Oh, I was about to say.
I'm just saying.
Take it easy,
Yeah.
guys. I wasn't looking for that one.
He got what is 1/3 of 18, which was 6.
Are you going through each of them? Right.
We can if you want.
Yeah, go through each of them.
I'll go through each of them, and Chris, then just interrupt me when he got it right. Okay, so what is the name of the narrow body of water that connects the Mediterranean and the Red Sea? Suez Canal.
Yeah, they both got that wrong.
Yep. Capital city of China.
Both got that wrong as well.
Yes. Beijing is what. Beijing. Name of a polygon with 7 sides. Tough one. Heptagon.
Yeah, they both got that wrong as well.
Heptagon.
Hep with
You
a
both said
Heptagon.
You both said septagon.
Which
Sep
is
is
weird.
7.
That's a weird.
Sep is 7, though. I swear. I swear.
I don't know about that.
I'm looking.
1/3 of 18 is 6.
Yeah, you both got that right.
Yep. A punctuation mark used at the end of the sentence to show strong emotion. Exclamation mark.
They both got that right.
Yep. What is the unit of measurement for force? This is a tough one. A Newton. A Newton is a unit of measurement for force.
I was going with G-force, if you know what I mean.
I actually thought that was pretty
trying.
Not bad.
I thought that was a good guess. What is it called when liquid turns into a gas? You're gonna go like this when you hear it. Evaporation.
Ted got that right, I believe, but Ben got it wrong.
Yeah.
Liquid turns into gas. So when I fart, it's an evaporation?
No.
I don't know if farts are.
Think
liquid.
about like when you
I thought it was dead poop particles.
I don't know. Maybe next week on Are You Smarter Than Members? Think about like when you boil water, right? Like the liquid turns into like a gas from that's like what the steam is.
Huh.
The water's evaporating into the air. Anyway.
But the water's still there.
But it goes
decreasing.
down. It decreases.
Does it really?
Yeah.
When I boil water,
Yes. It
if I
decreases.
left it boiling, it would just
it would go away. You never
Over time.
overboil something.
no.
That's why when you put noodles inside, it absorbs and it also evaporates. I believe.
All right.
Yeah. Largest planet in our solar system is Jupiter.
Yeah, you got that right.
You
That's
guessed
where he
that one?
Yeah, he guessed.
No,
he guessed,
I
he
knew
said
it was
sun,
big.
and then he said Jupiter.
I said the sun's not a planet, and I said Jupiter.
Yep,
So
got
you
that
knew
right.
it, though.
Yeah, you got that right.
Yeah, well, I knew that Jupiter was big.
Okay. All right.
Who developed the theory of relativity? Albert Einstein. You just guessed that one, or
No, he said some
You got
loser.
that wrong.
Some
yeah,
loser.
some loser. That should deduct points. Which English king had 6 wives? What did you?
I just said King Henry.
Which
Yeah,
one?
They all said Henry. He said Henry, and so did Ted. So we had to give him the correct answer.
Which
for
King
that.
Henry?
I got it right. Next.
First woman to fly solo across the
It
Atlantic.
was King Henry VIII, by the way.
Yeah. First woman to fly solo across the Atlantic, Amelia Earhart.
A gal.
Yeah. What year did World War II begin? Neither of them got this right. I
Well, he
believe.
said
yes.
1946, and I'm pretty sure the war ended in like 46.
Ended in 45.
Yeah,
yeah, right.
39. 1939 is when it started.
I got a
Germany
B.
invaded Poland.
I got a B in U.S. history, so I didn't
I
retain
would
much information.
expect better from a B.
Yeah, me too.
I
It's a pretty
agree.
important date. But hey,
September 1st, 1939.
We should do this with Chris. Chris seems to know a lot of these. Chris is on his game over there.
Well, he's done Rain Man with Homer for a while.
Yeah,
so that's a lot of sports.
Who painted the Mona Lisa? Leonardo da Vinci.
You just guessed?
Guessed.
Yeah. Smallest instrument in an orchestra. I thought flute was a good guess. Piccolo. Piccolo. Finally, tough one here. Chemical symbol for gold. AU. AU.
Oh, yeah. Again, like I said, D in chemistry, C in physics. So
what do you say, GD?
The Gangster Disciples. You better be careful now.
What's GD?
GD's Gangster Disciples is a gang.
I didn't mean that.
Hey, we've all been there saying things we didn't know.
Hey, listen,
mine's a lot better.
If the GDs come for you, I don't know you.
Is that
I'll be like, I know Kyle Wallace.
The hell you don't.
I know Kyle Wallace.
No, you not me.
We do know Brad Nortman, and we're gonna hear from Brad. Sorry, Ted in Evansville, you do not win. Man, we need some winners. I don't like winning this much. What's going on with? And Justin in Milwaukee chimes in. He says, "Much better job hosting, Brad."
Thank you.
We'll make him the "Are you smarter than Ben Brust?" Host judger.
Yeah, I'll take that. For Justin, I did try to up my game this segment. I don't know. I just tried to bring more energy.
You let the haters motivate you in that way.
No, it's just I'm being coached up.
No,
you're being coached up.
You can't let no
family. I mean,
hey, it's
KBN Nation.
KBN Nation. I'll listen to KBN Nation.
They care.
Don't be too much of a hater, but. I want to step it up, and I hear some good feedback, and I say, okay, I'm moving in the right direction.
All right, cool. Constructive criticism you can take.
Yeah.
I don't want it.
I got to shout out the Princeton Club because on Friday I'll be back with my guy Maddie, and we're going to get after it because that's been the goal since I've done the in-body scan. I realized, wow, I need to get after it a little more. We can't just be going through the motions. That's why I love it there because they push you, and when you go there, you feel that in the atmosphere. Right now is a great time to join the Princeton Club because when you look around, you know you have the best equipment. You know you have the best stuff out there. Like they're going to be bringing new stuff in. I see the showers getting redone in New Berlin with 8 Madison locations. New Berlin and Milwaukee, open 24/7. It feels great from the moment you walk in to the moment you walk out. Find your better tomorrow at the Princeton Club. Brad stepped his game up for Are You Smarter Than Ben Brust? He's sucking at Hear Brad Out.
What?
I mean, Kyle and I have hated everything you brought.
No way.
I mean,
how was October for you yesterday?
Okay, that was actually going to be my pour one out. Honestly, if that was
so if you missed it, Brad's Hear Him Out 2 weeks ago was October's the best month of the year.
Hey.
We have put the kibosh on that pretty quickly.
It wasn't yesterday.
That's what
I'm
saying.
Say. If we were going to do it yesterday, I was going to say 2-2 for the Badgers. Packers stink. Brewers out of the playoffs, and it snowed on the last day. Pour one out for that take.
800-990-3776. I want you to chime in on Brad's Hear One Out or Hear One Out. We're going to hear Brad out. See if he brings the heat today. Next.
Things are moving along a lot better than they were this morning, that's for sure. We do still have some delays, though. Southbound 43, we're looking at about a 16-minute ride to get from Brown Deer Road into downtown. 5-minute delay. Delays kicking in at Silver Spring, stretching all the way down almost to North Avenue. Northbound's a little slow from North Avenue up to Keefe. Westbound 94, hitting the brakes at 27th Street, stretching all the way through the Stadium interchange. Starts to let up once you get past Mitchell Boulevard. And northbound 41, a little heavy between Watertown Plank Road and Swan Boulevard. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. They know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net. That's NEAL group.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mostly cloudy with a low of 31. Tomorrow, cloudy skies with a high of 48. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Weather is brought to you by Showtime Floors and Floor Shield, designed to beautify and protect your concrete surfaces. Same-day installations and a 15-year warranty. See your options and schedule an appointment today at ShowtimeFloors.com.
A trip to the semifinals is on the line Friday night as Catholic Memorial hosts Lakeside Lutheran.
They give it to him on a jet. No, they're going to go reverse. Here's Marvanus Butler. Nobody on that right side, and Marvanus Butler's going to walk in. He was giving a high five to MJ Mitchell as they crossed the goal line.
Keith Neitzel and Mike Padole are on the call starting at 6:30. Sponsored by R&R Insurance, BC Adhesives, KMI Construction, Lake 5 Landscape Supply, Home Sealed Exteriors, Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, Curative Care Network.
Hey, this is Gabe Nigel from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. You have undoubtedly heard me talking about Mentality by now, and its greatness. But don't just take it from me. Hear my pal Jason talk about what Mentality has done for him.
I realized that, Father Time is undefeated, and missed the feeling of being in my 20s again. I was like, what the heck, why not? Got to give it a try. This is the one shot that we have, so I want to feel like that spring chicken again. So I went to Mentality, and it's been an amazing experience ever since. My only thing that I wish I could change is that I went sooner.
Get started today at lowtusa.com.
You love her twice as much today as the day you married her, right?
Welcome to Kessler's.
Congratulations are in order for Cedar Ridge Distillery's Original 86 Bourbon, the best-selling bourbon in Iowa for a third straight year, making a home in Wisconsin. Ben Brust here to tell you more about Cedar Ridge Distillery's bourbon and whiskey. Aged in non-climate control rickhouses, the Midwest weather means Cedar Ridge products go through all the temperature swings. That means unique flavors. So it makes sense that the Quintessential is one of the highest awarded American single malts. Trust me, each bottle of Cedar Ridge is handcrafted with that Midwest feel. Learn more about their award-winning products at cedarridgedistillery.com.
Hey, it's Jason Wildick for Associated Bank. Looking for a bank with home field advantage? You got it. At Associated Bank, we're more than just a bank. We're your neighbors. That's why scoring a Packers checking account is the right play for your pay. And here's the kicker. Your Packers debit card gets you 10% off at the Packers Pro Shop. Join the team today. Open your Packers checking account at associatedbank.com/Packers. Associated Bank, the bank of the Packers since 1919. Your money works here. Member FDIC.
Hey, this is Bo stepping in for Ridgetop Larry, here to tell you about Ridgetop Exterior's most affordable payment options, including no interest and low interest financing. For your free estimate, visit ridgetopexteriors.com. Roofing, siding, windows, and doors, visit ridgetopexteriors.com.
For general contest rules, visit ESPNWisconsinContest.com.
They say seeing is believing, and when you see what's inside at American Place Casino, you better believe you're gonna love it. Because when it comes to amazing gaming, we're a real game changer. With the most exciting of table games like blackjack, craps, and roulette, the newest slots, a sports book, restaurants, bars, and more. So if you're ready for excitement, we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game.
Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
When you're high, you feel different. But if you feel different, you drive different. So don't drive high. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up. Cash your checks. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up. Cash your checks.
Shout out to the best graphic designer of Good Karma Brands, Evan, who put up a sweet graphic for Are You Smarter Than Ben Brust, which you can see on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee. Kyle, Brust, and Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin. I'm Ben Brust alongside Kyle Wallace, the heartbeat of the show. Coming to reality with where this Packer team is at and trying to figure out the clarity and the direction this team needs to go. Brad Nortman, 6-time 6-year NFL punter, and homeboy Chris running the show. You heard from me and Are You Smarter Than Ben Brust? You're always going to hear from Kyle. But we got to make sure we get bad takes out of the way. It's time to hear Brad out.
They say punters are people too.
Punters are worthy of breaking news.
No, really, that's what they say.
Raising awareness everywhere that punters are people too.
Okay, let's go to it. Time to hear from the punter. Time to hear Brad out.
So 2 weeks ago, it was October is the best month of the year. Last week, it was we need to move the NFL trade deadline to week 11.
That one's pretty good.
I mean, it's okay. What we got this week?
All right, here's what we got this week. There's been a trend happening, and we saw it really come out in full force on Saturday, and you guys were in attendance. So I'm actually going to lean on you for this investment pitch a little bit, and I want your input on it. I remember when I tried to look back with do I look back with rose-colored glasses on and what the Wisconsin football student section used to be?
You can, because you went to 2 Rose Bowls.
Sure, I can. Nice, very nice there. I remember the Wisconsin Badger student section for football games showing up relatively on time. Now, it's an 11 o'clock game. You're not going to get a full student section. But I went back and looked at the Wisconsin versus Ohio State, and we played them number 1, and it was 90% full. And after, within 4 minutes, it was fully full, right? I'm hearing reports from the game on Saturday that it was 50% or less at kickoff. Is that correct?
Yeah. I would say it was like 60.
Yeah.
But it wasn't 100. It filled in fast.
It filled in quick.
But I will say I was like, night game, 6:30. Like we can be here.
Biggest game of the year. You've had plenty of time.
I'm ready
to get
for
going.
this because I've thought of some ideas on how to fix this.
Okay, I got some ideas. I want to hear from you guys too, but it's a problem. I had a family member there, and she said to a student, one of these Gen Zers, "Hey, why don't you show up on time?" And the person said back to her, "I'll show up on time when the offense shows up on time." And I was like, dang, these entitled students, they have lost all sorts of school pride in supporting their team.
They're not even watching the game anywheres in there.
It's a shame. I hear the cheers aren't very good. It's not as like loud or intense as it used to be, not as coordinated as it used to be. So we got a problem. But we at a minimum, we got to get our students there on time, and we need more of a showcase from our student section, which is nationally known. And I want it to stay nationally known. So I've got 3 approaches I think is going to help with this. So that's the problem. We need our students to show up more, and we need to be more engaged. Solution number 1, sell alcohol. It's a quick way to do it, sell alcohol. Now, I know
it's on the way.
I know that they are sneaking alcohol in there, obviously already.
Yes.
I was doing that.
But this is helpful to just keep them going into. There's no risk in going in there if there's already drinks going to be there. Number 2, I think that the file system by which they bring people into the game it's really a bottleneck. I was a couple student sections when I went and visited some family members after I graduated. They just let it rip. You just go in there and pick your seat and let it go in. There's no bottleneck. You let it rip. So they need to figure out a way to fast track getting kids in there because they just kind of slowly meander in there section after section. And then I don't want to punish these kids for not getting there early, so I want to incentivize them. I think that it should be like the Wisconsin students section sponsored by blank. Could be a food company, could be a grocery store, whatever. And if you get in before kickoff, you get a free something. You get $20 to the grocery store. You get a free entree at the Rosskeller. You get sponsored by McDonald's, and you get something. Get these kids, college kids, they love free stuff. Incentivize them to get in there early. Wisconsin student section sponsored by whatever food company. Kids are getting free food. A sponsor's getting their name out there. They're incentivized to get in there early. What do you guys say? Is this a problem? Do you buy any of my takes? And I want to hear your takes.
Kyle?
Well, Bradley. So I guess it must have been the month of October that produced Boo Boo hearing Brad's house because this wasn't bad.
Oh, wow.
This was not bad. Yeah, I will say this is that there's an issue. I thought the Ohio State crowd was the best crowd that I have seen in a very long time for the Wisconsin Badger game. Those fans were
of
loud,
course, it's
rowdy,
a top 5 team.
But the atmosphere when you walked in the place, you felt it through your body, you felt it through the spirit, and I know the players felt it as well. But beyond that, 11 o'clock games, it takes too long. It gets kind of boring at times. So I agree. I actually like the solutions you had. The last one you had, that was perfect. People love free stuff. Kids will go anywhere for free stuff. They will stand in line. With the little ticket, say if the Badgers scored 21 points, which is all we need sometimes. If the Badgers scored 21 points, you get a free sub from a place, they would probably go the next day to get the free sub and stand in line. And so I agree. I think, Brad, that was an excellent hear Brad out, and I think that you should be speaking with Chris McIntosh about some of these ideas that you have. I'm sure, I know, speaking with Ben's brother, I know for a fact there's some connection he has in the athletic department. Seems like he has all the connects, so we should set up a meeting between Barry, Chris, and Brad.
So I don't think selling alcohol is going to solve it for the students, to be honest, because I don't know if there's going to be hard. Anyways, typically it's beer and
seltzers.
It's probably expensive too.
My point is it's got to be the ready to drink cocktail, because if it's not, kids are drinking beer in college less and less than what we did in college and then people before us did. I do know that.
Hams?
I do know that. Hey, easy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We were presented by the official beer of the NFL.
I was thinking of I was going to say a nasty beer, but
regardless, my point is, I don't think it's that. For me, you need to reach kids in college on how they reach each other. They don't text. They communicate through Snapchat. They don't know, like we've talked about, they don't know how to have social conversations. They don't know how to talk to people. So what you do to incentivize kids to come to a Badger game is you have somebody come through the stands that they care about. If you can find like a local, I don't know, former Badger player, like the captains, like make them go up and down, high five, like if it's like a local celebrity to Wisconsin, you know what they're going to want to do? They're going to want to take a selfie. They're going to want to post out, hey, I was in the student section. If you have a featured guest for the home games and you know in the middle of the second quarter, because people want to come for jump around, right? You got to give them a reason to be there. If the field product, it's not about if they're playing good or bad. It's about how do you reach the people who only know how to communicate through their phone and want to tell you they were somewhere through pictures versus enjoying the moment. You give them, I don't know, the guy, the comedian, the Charlie, whatever his name is, guy, right? Like when
Barons.
Thank you.
Ain't nobody showing up.
Whatever.
Charlie Barons.
Whatever it is, I don't know what college kids like, but whoever's in charge of getting people to the stadium, give them somebody that they want to take a picture with and say, hey, I was in the student section with this person.
Am I going to stop my pregame to go show up to take a picture with somebody?
You're not, but these Gen Zers will.
I mean, it has to be somebody good, real good.
So here's the thing: there's honorary captains, right? Like James White was there on Saturday.
Yep.
Have James White.
Ain't nobody showing up to see no James. They don't know who James White is.
You're almost saying you need like an honorary student section celebrity.
Correct.
In the game.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, it's like you can go see them.
You need Kylie Jenner.
Stop. If you're gonna bash the idea, I'm done with you. Help enhance the idea or come up with something better.
It was a bad idea.
No, the idea is I don't know who Gen Zers like, but you need to get somebody that they like so they take a damn picture with them.
What's the girl, the D'Amelio TikToker?
I don't know.
I just feel like
exactly. Whoever speaks that language, we need you in
not our audience.
Yes. They want food and liquor. I want food and liquor too. Heck, I show up on time. They gave me food and liquor. That's why I like going to the beautiful Wisconsin College Game Day to watch Brad do his thing because I get great.
We get Wisconsin College Game Day free food and liquor.
And that's why I show up 2 hours before the game.
Again, I don't think alcohol does it. You need the hook for the Gen Zers.
What about like the free food, like the student section sponsored?
Yeah,
by someone?
I love that.
Like,
I love that. But that's a lot of free stuff.
Yeah, I mean they could even just be like
50% off.
But you gotta get there by
But it's a pretty big sponsorship, right? Wisconsin student section sponsored by fill in the name. That's a big sponsorship.
Palermo's.
I'll talk to the people.
They get a slice of pizza as they walk in.
Everybody gets
or a coupon for a free Screamin' Sicilian.
Yeah,
Screamin' Sicilian
or
pizza.
Mambo Italiano.
It's so screaming good, baby. With 2.5 feet of stuffed crust cheese and the stuffed crust I'm stuffed pizza, the thin and crispy is amazing, the tavern style, and the OGs. The OGs, you have the Bessie's Revenge, which is the cheese pizza that takes cheese to a whole nother level. The white cheddar cheese. Can you believe that? How about the Holy Pepperoni, the mother of meat, the Supremus Maximus? I mean, when you think of the Boss Hog, that's probably like the most steady Screamin' Sicilian, the sausage pizza, the Screamin' Sicilian, Boss Hog, amazing. But when you're looking to spice things up, you need to get yourself at your local grocer's freezer a Mambo Italiano. Mambo. Find your Screamin' pleasure. Tavern style, thin and crispy, stuffed crust cheese, or the OG Screamins in your local grocer's freezer. Rob Domofsky of ESPN. We got a lot for him. He's leaving the locker room. We'll talk to him next on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, presented by Bud Light.
GKB, they get all my love, all my energy, and all my time. I'll be danged if GKB and Craig not going to allow me to take my half an hour boo-boo. If I need to do that, they need to allow me to do that.
That's your whole lunch break.
I don't even take a lunch break. I work during lunch.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Delays continue along southbound 43 from Silver Spring all the way down past Locust. The northbound side going to be heavy from North Avenue all the way up past Keefe. Westbound 94 starting to slow down a bit from about 25th Street through the Stadium interchange. And then southbound on 41, we're looking at delays from Silver Spring down past Capitol Drive almost to Burleigh. And then the northbound side slowing down from Wisconsin Avenue up past Swan Boulevard. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 31. Then tomorrow, cloudy skies at the high of 48. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
It's a city from a fairy tale on the Mediterranean Sea.
Netanya, the city of diamonds.
And in this city of diamonds lived a crazy genius named Moses Hadara.
Moses was a mathematician.
A diamond cutter.
And a bit of a theoretical physicist.
Albert Einstein devised a formula, E equals mc squared.
Albert's formula unleashed the power locked inside an atom.
Moses' formula unleashed the power locked inside a diamond.
Moses began with star facets,
kite facets,
upper girdle facets,
lower girdle facets,
and pavilion facets.
But then a voice told him to add 24 new facets, the Moses facets.
When he cut the final one,
Shazam!
Moses unleashed an explosion of light.
That dazzling diamond is known today as the Kessler 81.
See it for yourself.
See it for yourself.
See it for yourself.
At Kessler's.
To find the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Chris Canty.
I blame the Raiders more so than I blame Josh McDaniels. They decided to entrust their franchise amid all of this swirling controversy with the Henry Ruggs tragedy and the John Gruden scandal. They gave it to Josh McDaniels. And Josh McDaniels is not somebody that we've seen as a head coach that is going to quell all of the dysfunction and all of the noise surrounding the situation that he was stepping into in Vegas. He's not that type of personality. He doesn't have that type of demeanor. He doesn't have that type of presence. So the fact that they went out and hired him versus somebody else that they could have hired during that cycle, to me, I put that on Mark Davis, and that's the only person that you can blame for the dysfunction that we've seen over the last couple of decades, because he's the common denominator. The Raiders have had 12 different people be their head coach over the last 20 years. There's a reason for that. It's because of the owner.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people who make things happen, like me. I'm Sam, founder and CEO of Manifest, a product design company that makes everyday products designed smarter. I get 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more, plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases, which helps us make more smart ideas into a brilliant reality.
The Ink Business Premier Card. Learn more at chase.com/business premier. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Account subject to credit approval. Restrictions and limitations apply. Cards are issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank. Any member FDIC.
At the Home Depot, Saturdays are about two things. Easy cleanup with the Ryobi 18-volt ONE+ Whisper Series leaf blower and football. That's right, Reese Davis. With variable speed, it has the power for when you really need it and just the right amount when you don't. And the ONE+ battery platform means you go from yard work to DIY in just a click, so you can get projects done faster. Which means more time for football. For football. Upgrade your Saturday with Ryobi and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, presented by Bud Light, the official beer of the NFL, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Kyle, Brust, and Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin. Presented by the official beer of the NFL, Bud Light. I'm Ben Brust alongside Kyle Wallace, the heartbeat of the show. Brad Nortman, 6-time, 6-year NFL punter. I dressed up as him yesterday. Full pads, game-worn jersey, Jags helmet, sick helmet, very sick helmet. Homeboy Chris running the show, streaming live on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee. And we're excited now to be joined by Rob Demovsky of ESPN. Rob, do you want a specific intro song for your appearances here on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman?
I like variety. Variety is the spice of life.
All right, but like a specific variety. Do you like, Grateful Dead or
I mean, I'm of the I would say alt rock, light punk genre.
Light punk, interesting.
Is there like a decade or a time frame we're pulling from?
Just pull
50s?
the band, the Gaslight Anthem. That's the essence of my music interest. It all branches off from there.
All right. We can test that out as we go. Before we get into specific questions to you, anything that you walk away from talking with some of the players that you think is needed to be shared ASAP?
I mean, Jair Alexander and Keyshawn Nixon were both basically struggling with dealing with the fact that Rasul Douglas is no longer here. I mean, none of them, they didn't outwardly rip the Packers organization for trading him, but they were both expressed incredible shock and surprise. I mean, Jair said he didn't even find out till this morning. I don't know what rock he was under. What?
Oh my!
I don't know. I don't know that I necessarily believe him. He's a different dude now. Like, he does things differently, but I don't know that I buy that. But I mean, yeah, those guys. Look, I mean, especially the guys on defense. I think we talked about this last week, or maybe I talked about it on one of the other shows. But like, if you're a guy on defense, and not that they've been perfect or whatever, but the last few weeks they've played pretty well. Even Matt LaFleur said the Denver and the Raiders game, hey, we held them under 20 points. We should win that game. If you're a guy on defense, you're kind of thinking, to an extent, hey, we've done okay. We've done our part a little bit, and the offense hasn't. Well, now those guys on defense are like, well, how are we going to say that now if we lose one of our better guys?
Yeah, and he was probably one of the more consistent guys throughout the start of this season. Now, I've had a little bit of an issue with the two guys that you mentioned. I mean, who do you put this on? And I know it's part of Jair's personality, but he talks a lot, and I don't feel as if he is backed it up as of recent. Part of his duty, he's not been the same coming back from injury in terms of his tackling, then his back got in the way. But in the first drive out of halftime, it's 10-3. KJ Osborne on 2nd and 10 catches a 9-yard pass that Jair gets beat on, and Keyshawn Nixon levels him. And I see Keyshawn Nixon and Jair Alexander act as if they got a stop on 4th and goal. Meanwhile, KJ Osborne was out in the first half, came back in the second half on that drive, and had 4 damn catches for 60 freaking yards. And I see them celebrating. Like, I'm so sick of that mentality. Is that like LaFleur's team? Is that the Joe Barry effect, or is that just them?
That's an age-old deal. I mean, I can remember, going back to like guys like Nick Barnett would celebrate sacks when they were down 27-10. Maybe you're just trying to get guys fired up. I don't know, but like there's nothing in the NFL that bothers me, or any sport really, that bothered me more was when a guy on a team that was getting it handed to him would start celebrating. Like, and I don't think that's specific to this Packers team or even this sport in general.
He tackled Jordan Addison one time after he gained 3 yards, and then he gets burned after the turnover.
Yeah. I mean, it's I don't know why they do it, Ben. You'd know. I just can't believe I said that. You know better than me what it's like to be in that arena.
Yeah, and as we're talking with Rob Domofsky here of ESPN, breaking down all things from the locker room appearances that we had heard from Keyshawn Nixon and Jair Alexander, who are shocked to see their counterpart go.
Yeah. Rob, whenever Goody takes the podium and shares his thoughts, it's always headline-worthy material. And you just put out an article on ESPN.com. Listeners can go check that out on ESPN.com. Discussing,
nice plug.
Yeah, that's right. Always plugging our guy, Rob. He just going in depth into where the franchise is at as far as Jordan Love. If you could summarize that for our listeners, or what you heard that is making headlines as far as where they are at with Jordan Love.
Yeah, they're at a place that they don't know yet, and that's that's not where they had hoped to be at this point. I mean, they had hoped to know by now that he was their guy, and they could work to build the rest of the team around them going into this off season. And I asked him if Brian Gutekunst said this. I asked him, are you going to need to work into next year to know whether you have the next franchise guy or not? And he said, I hope not. I hope we figure it out in these next 10 games. But the thing is, when you have a roster that's like it is now, I'm not sure you can get that answer in the next 10 games. And Matt LaFleur and Gutekunst both said this week it's hard to evaluate Jordan when the things around him have gone so poorly. So, I think Gutekunst thought, Brad, that he had given them a roster that they were going to grow together, and I understand why he built it this way. He wanted those guys to build chemistry from the very beginning rather than having like 1 or 2 old guys that might not be here long term. But that strategy either didn't work or Gutekunst overvalued what he had on this roster to begin with.
And so you said he overvalued it, Rob. So at what point do we get rid of the guy who overvalued this roster, the guy that's going to have this team have 3 losing seasons in 6 seasons? At what point does Mark Murphy make that decision to say, you know what? maybe we need to start over with the GM because he's had a lot of failed drafts, and the biggest failure might be the fact that he moved on from a Hall of Fame quarterback to a quarterback he does not know is going to be the franchise
and
quarterback.
didn't equip him as the general manager with a team
talent around him.
Yeah, my biggest thing, Rob, is a lot of people point to 2022 and 2023. That 2021 draft, those would have been third-year guys. The 2020 draft of A.J. Dillon and Josiah DeGuara, those are the fourth-year guys. Those are the guys that you could have built in if you're going to trade Devontae Adams. He brought in Amari Rodgers. That's it.
Yeah. No, you're right. And Kyle, to your point about what point does Mark Murphy make that change, I don't see Mark Murphy as making that change. I really don't. He. I mean, now granted, lots changed in 7 games, but at the shareholders meeting this summer and every summer, he has stood up there and said, well, I have the utmost faith in Brian, and he's the guy to run the organization. You know, Mark Murphy's in a weird spot in that he will be required to step down in July of 2025 because the bylaws of the Packers say that no board member can be on after the age of 70. And the question is he going to want to make one more, major move before that, like at the end of next year? Or does he let the next guy coming in decide that? It'll be interesting. I mean, Bob Harlan, his last year was 2007. In 2005, that's when he hired Ted Thompson to be general manager. So, there's a little interesting, parallel there. I just do not see Mark Murphy making a bold change like that. Now, maybe that's good, maybe that's bad.
Oh, it's bad.
One of the good things about this organization is stability, and you're not rebuilding every year. Look at the Raiders; they fire guys after a year and a half, and they're starting over every time. Now, if you don't think what you have now is worth building on, then I guess I can see you making a change. That's what Mark Murphy has to decide whether there's enough here right now that they'll build on it and improve. And my gut tells me that that's what Mark Murphy thinks.
I mean, you have a coach that called this team a mess. He said our offense is a mess. You have a general manager who just told you that he doesn't know if he has a franchise quarterback. Mark Murphy has to hear and see everything that we're seeing as fans, as reporters. We are seeing a mess that's not going to get solved by 2025.
Yeah, it's a great point. It is an excellent point. If Jerry Jones or, somebody else were running this organization, maybe that's the way it would go. But, that's the history has not shown that that's what the Packers, tend to do with these situations. Now, granted, they have not been in this situation very often, right? Their losing seasons for the most part over the last, 3 decades have been isolated. They'd have one and then they'd bounce back. So, that definitely bears watching here over the next several months.
Talking with Rob Domofsky on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin, and your great pal Jason Wilde and Mark Tauscher. They do a bold-a-thon. Were you a part of the bold-a-thon? Because I know it's because of you.
Yeah, it's because of me, but I was a part of it, but I don't remember what my bold prediction was, to be honest with you.
I want you to hear a little bit from my former co-host, Greg Scalzo, and I want to get your take on that. Here we go, Chris.
Of Matt LaFleur with the game plan against Kansas City, and
this is Tauscher's response.
Okay.
You can next time just tell me.
They're running it back, and you know what they're doing? They're running it back.
Defense, they're definitely running it back.
I'm going to tell you, they better be better than it was last year, because if it's not, all of these bold predictions are going to be complete waste of time.
Except mine.
Except Ben's. Scals, what do you got?
I think this year is especially tough because it's hard to be bold when there's such a wide margin of possibilities. But I will be bold here. I will say, and when we talk about Joe Barry remaining as coach, I wonder how much of that is, hey, look, that's Matt LaFleur's lane. It's something he can ultimately control, so he's going to control it and surround himself with people that he's comfortable with. With that being said, I will make the bold prediction that this is Matt LaFleur's final season in Green Bay.
Wow! No wonder you guys are going off the air.
I think at the end of the season, in which the Packers will finish in last place in the division, there will be a quote-unquote mutual parting of ways between Matt LaFleur and the Packers. He will go and find other opportunities in the NFL, and the Packers will move on as Goody continues to try to gobble up as much power as he can within that building.
So Tausch had talked about the angst between Goody and LaFleur. I think that's not that crazy.
Here's I did like Tausch's comment about that's why you guys are going off the air.
Of course,
that's great.
But, that was already the new lineup was already pre-planned. That's what he should have said. But like here's the thing that I really wonder, Ben, and to me it's an interesting dynamic that I guess it's hard to know about, is that who is Mark Murphy? A, who is he listening to? Whether it's Goody or LaFleur, and B, who is jostling for position more? Because look, that the general manager is to his boss, to Mark Murphy. Goody's going to say, "Hey, I gave Matt this roster; he should be doing better with it." And Matt, if he is going to Goody or to Murphy, saying, "Hey, this guy didn't give me a good enough roster." Now we don't know if either of those things are happening, but it would be an interesting dynamic to know that if one or both of those guys is, sort of saying that behind closed doors, A, if they're saying that, and B, which one Murphy would buy. But because that's the power struggle that I think I can't remember who mentioned it, but I think that could be happening, and it's interesting because in the old days of Ron Wolf and Ted Thompson, the GM had complete authority over the coach, and then when Murphy hired Gutekunst, he split it up, and they both report to Murphy. So. This is one of those instances where it could work against them in terms of how it's how things are happening in the organization.
Rob, we appreciate the time. Thanks for all the insight, and look forward to talking to you next week.
All right, guys, we'll be seeing you.
That's Rob Domofsky of ESPN. You can hear him on a lot of our different shows, giving insight and giving opinions. Really enjoy our time with Rob. 800-990-3776 on Twitter at KBN, ESPN, and streaming on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee. We wrap up the ESPN Wisconsin portion of our show before we are 4 to 5 on 94.5 ESPN. Coming up next.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN.
Most people don't have Super Bowl 50 authentic gear that they did not have to purchase, that was given to them because they were part of the festivities.
Correct.
That's not people. That's highbrow there, elitist a little bit.
I'm a little bit hurt that you think
I knew we'd break
I'm a little hurt that you think that I would go to the extent of trying to posture.
What made you wear this today?
Yeah.
Presented by Bud Light on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. Football Guy.
My biggest criticism of what they did from a roster building perspective is that they gave him no one of experience to throw to. No one.
Football Guy.
Yeah, I just think that this team is better than what they put out there on Monday. I am not buying all this. I get they're young.
Wilde and Tausch. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Also sponsored by Coors Light. Weekdays 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN. And available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Men's wedding bands made from whiskey barrels and meteorites.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Hey, it's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust. Men can be their own worst critics, especially as we get older and compare our current self to the younger version. The experts at Forward Healthy Lifestyles in Germantown help men with testosterone optimization, regenerative medicines, heart health screenings, weight loss, and yes, sexual enhancement services. Forward Healthy Lifestyles can offer regained energy and endurance, more muscle and tone, enhanced performance, joint therapies, and more. Change your life and stop comparing who you are now to who you used to be. Visit forwardhealthylifestyles.com for a free consultation.
Sharp Literacy's A Novel event is coming. Join Sharp Literacy and special guest A.J. Dillon on Monday, November 6th at the Eagles Ballroom for a night of conversation and auction, awards, and a variety of food stations. The Green Bay running back is also the author of Quadzilla Finds His Footing, an uplifting children's book about perseverance. Funds raised at a Novel event will support Sharp's STEAM-based education programs in the state. For tickets and information, visit sharpliteracy.org. A Novel event, Monday, November 6th at the Eagles Ballroom.
Adulting in the fall means responsible spiking. For pumpkin spice or whatever your preferred fall drink concoction is, spike it with rum chata. It's a solution for any occasion. Rum chata is the world's finest liqueur featuring premium Caribbean rum combined with vanilla, cinnamon, and the highest quality dairy cream sourced from Wisconsin. Enjoy a smooth shot or a tantalizing spiked beverage with Rum Chata Original. And, backed by popular demand for a limited time, Rum Chata Peppermint Bark. Rum Chata, the superior way to spike and sip responsibly this fall.
Stay up to date on the green and gold all season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Hey, it's Jason Wildig for Associated Bank. Looking for a bank with home field advantage? You got it. At Associated Bank, we're more than just a bank. We're your neighbors. That's why scoring a Packers checking account is the right play for your pay. And here's the kicker. Your Packers debit card gets you 10% off at the Packers Pro Shop. Join the team today. Open your Packers checking account at AssociatedBank.com/Packers. Associated Bank, the bank of the Packers since 1919. Your money works here. Member FDIC.
Hey, this is Bo stepping in for Ridgetop Larry, here to tell you about Ridgetop Exterior's most affordable payment options, including no interest and low interest financing. For your free estimate, visit ridgetopexteriors.com. Roofing, siding, windows, and doors, visit ridgetopexteriors.com.
Life's better with an auto policy from American Family Insurance. No matter what dreams you're driving towards. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto coverage at the right price. You'll also save up to 23% when you bundle auto with home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
If you see something, why do you say something?
I see safe for my friends. For my community.
For everyone here. We all have something worth protecting, a why that unifies us. Report suspicious activity to local authorities. If you see something, say something.
Proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Hey, Ted. When you gonna stop?
Kyle has ruined it for Brad Nortman. I don't know any other way to say it. Kyle, Brust, and Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin. So I believe that I make chili at a pretty good chili. My girlfriend just swung by and she stood up for my chili because Kyle says he doesn't eat food from other people. But yet the first question that Brad asked, do you go to restaurants?
Houses.
And that my girlfriend asked, do you go to restaurants?
Mm-hmm.
You think they live up to code?
They have. There's a health inspector that comes by to make sure they're living up to code.
Well,
yeah, and you know what you can do is pay them off.
Yes, sir. No, sir. Washing hands.
Yeah,
they don't know.
I had to put my faith in society more than I put my faith in the cooking spoon of this guy right here. Who
So
had the clown
I
mask
did
on.
make a mistake, and I'm showing on stream. Is we had a company call in which I was sitting next to Brad Nortman at about around noon. And I was eating my chili, and I wanted to participate in the call, so I had to go run to another room, and I did not remember that I left my chili bowl there. And I made a mistake. It was an honest mistake, and now people are trying to shame me.
It's been sitting there for, what is that now? That's almost 4 hours.
4 hours.
Oh, my gosh. That's a long
That's a long
chili bowl.
And he was never going to go back to get it.
I never would have remembered.
Do you feel bad? Do you feel bad about it?
No, because it was an honest mistake.
You don't feel bad?
You should feel terrible about it.
Why?
That's the combination.
It's the first time that I've ever done.
Yeah, okay. You're probably one of the people that put bowls in a sink downstairs. I got my eye on you.
No, I literally was the reason why we sent out an email because it's disgusting down here. Because
I was snapping on people.
Yeah.
I was going
because
in.
I trust Kyle, who got owned by three young ladies at a Chappelle concert. Got bullied by three young ladies.
That was a hostile environment.
It was hostile.
If them ladies came in my place of employment and started talking crazy like that, you best to believe it would have been an argument back and forth.
He would have been sitting crisscross in the corner looking at the wall.
Heck no, I would have said, Daphne, I want to take care of this.
People don't know who Daphne is.
Our HR person.
Yeah. You would have said, Daphne, I need you to take care of this. I'm scared.
I would have said, Daphne, I'm gonna take care of this. Listen, Daphne, you can stand right here while I take care of these women.
Yeah, I mean it's
don't call me out like that.
Ernie in a bar near Elroy chimes in. Been in the food and bev industry for 45 years. Kyle is a weenie about food. Couldn't agree more, Ernie. Couldn't agree more.
I don't want his dog and cat's hair all over my food.
I don't have cats.
I don't know what
dogs don't shed, and it's great chili. And because you won't eat it, Brad can't try it.
I'm going to suffer because I want to try it, but Ben views us as one in this situation. He will not bring it for me if you're not also in.
No, that was an excuse. That was an excuse because he wanted to be selfish. Don't let his selfish mindset and his girlfriend's selfish mindset ruin that.
You're not eating food simmered for 3 hours.
Me.
In the heat. There ain't no bad things in there. Now I actually hope
I
by
don't
making
trust
you
people
get
that
sick
poop
from it.
outside and pee next to a bed.
Rutledge and Hamilton up next in Madison. Tory Lowe Tuesday on a Wednesday. Next in 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere.
It's a little bit slow right now along southbound 43, basically from Silver Spring all the way down to about North Avenue. It's going to take about 21 minutes to get from Brown Deer Road into downtown. Also a little heavy spot heading through the Marquette as well. Northbound side slowing from Fond du Lac Avenue up past Keith. Westbound 94 backed up from 27th Street through the stadium, and southbound 41 backed up from Silver Spring all the way down to about North Avenue. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 31. Tomorrow, cloudy skies, a high of 48. Weather is brought to you by Adams Generators, the #1 rated Generac dealer in Wisconsin. Call for your free quote today at 262-944-2010 for power, peace of mind, or visit adamspower.com/generators. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, this is Gabe Neitzel from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. You have undoubtedly heard me talking about Mentality by now and its greatness. But don't just take it from me. Hear my pal Jason talk about what Mentality has done for him.
I realized that, Father Time is undefeated and missed the feeling of being in my 20s again. I was like, what the heck? Why not? Got to give it a try. This is the one shot that we have. So I want to feel like that spring chicken again. So I went to Mentality, and it's been an amazing experience ever since. My only thing that I wish I could change is that I went sooner.
Get started today at lowtusa.com.
What is dedication?
My daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. And if there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Gabe Neitzel here. Catch Jen, Gabe, and Chewy mornings 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN. Presented by Bud Light on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
We them boys. We them boys. We making noise. We them boys.
It's the 414 hour at 4 on KBS.
And it is a Tory Lowe Tuesday, but on a Wednesday. Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, 94.5 ESPN, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. Homeboy Chris running the show. And we welcome in our guy, Tory Lowe. You can hear him on the Tory Lowe Show from 1 to 4 on 1017 The Truth.
How y'all doing?
We're doing fantastic. So we are there any other Tory Lowe catchphrases we need to add to the show? Because we have a powerful.
Wow.
No.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Is there anything else that we don't know about? Because we're gonna have drops of Tory Lowe everywhere.
And those are pretty iconic too. I mean, those phrases are iconic.
It depends on the day. Every day has its different vibe.
Yeah. What's your vibe today?
We was talking about love.
Like what kind of love? Jordan love or romantic love?
We was talking about when men say "I love you." It means something totally different than when a woman says "I love you."
It does. It depends on the time and place, situation.
And that's why I say when men usually, when we look at a woman, we say "I love you." There's only a few things we're looking at. We're looking at respect. We're looking at certain ideas that can further our ideas.
What ideas you got?
What we doing? To build the kingdom. Every man is told to grow up, get out here, work, build something, and we pick a woman to help us on that journey.
Yeah, I'm following you.
Yeah, but when a woman says "I love you," it's probably
I want to have your babies.
Different. Yeah, or she may be excited about how you treat her. You know,
She
how
probably
you make her
feels
feel.
valued.
Yeah,
Feels
How you make her
valued.
feel valued, right?
Yeah.
So we was going down the rabbit hole today on that, and it was an interesting conversation because
You told somebody
Very
you love
wise.
them? You told somebody you love them
plenty
recently?
of times.
How
I've
many,
been
how many,
married,
how many
yeah.
people have you told I love you to?
Seriously?
Yeah.
So what you mean? There's two different ones?
No. Seriously, it's like over my lifespan, because you got the puppy love phase where you meet the girl in high school. Then you got the girl you may meet down the road in college, or when you become an adult, you may have another relationship. Every stage is different. So as you mature, your definition of love becomes more redefined.
Have you ever told? Have you ever
Man,
lied to
you're
somebody?
spitting
He
wisdom
is, but
today.
I'm trying to break. Have you ever told somebody you love them just because, like you lied to them and say you love them?
Well, when I was younger, it was this young girl. When I was in high school, this lady was, she was older than me. She was a senior.
Oh,
and
okay. Oh, wow.
And she was trying to come at me, and I was a freshman. And then she was trying to get me, And she was
trying to get you. What do you mean?
trying
Was
to
she
get me,
chasing you around the playground?
Trying to make me lose my virginity. She was trying to be the first one to get the first dibs on my virginity.
Did it work?
No, it didn't. I kind of was like, I was overwhelmed. Like, oh, whoa. what's
Tori's
going
like,
on?
I'm scared.
Not even that. Not even that. I was a deacon in church at the time, so we were supposed to hold on to your
convictions.
Won't he do it?
He was trying to.
I was trying to hold
Atta
back.
boy, Tori.
I
Hold
was
on to those
sweating. Yeah, I was
convictions.
holding on to my conviction. Yeah,
Well,
Why you hold on? Like,
because that's what they told you to do.
Hold on to it.
You take away church, and I'm hitting that. You take away the whole church thing. If I wasn't a deacon in church, hey.
He said, if I wasn't blessing the child of the Lord.
Yeah, once you get into church, you got to take an oath. You got to take the pledge.
800-990-3776. Speaking of love, how are you feeling about your man, Jordan Love?
Right now I see that we got some obstacles in front of us, some huge obstacles.
It'll be interesting to listen. Are you on the when are you on the Green Bay Game Day pregame show next? Because all it is has been Tory Lowe positivity on there.
Well, I almost
everyone's going to score a touchdown. The Packers are going to win.
I said the running game. I always say if we can develop these kind of things during the game, we can get an outcome. But we haven't managed to create a running game to open up the passing game. We're all over the place right now. Now, I see that you had a hot take.
No hot take.
On Brian.
Just a take.
Goodikis. I heard it. I heard it on social media.
I mean, my stance has been very clear. He moved on from a Hall of Famer in Aaron Rodgers, a Hall of Famer in Devontae Adams. He did not prioritize either of them. He picked his guy in Jordan Love, and then he messed up by not building the 2020 and 2021 draft for him. Again, if you were going to try and middle it, right. You didn't middle it. You didn't go all. I mean, I guess you middled it and it didn't work out. You didn't really super go all in, like trading draft picks in the middle of the 2020 season or the 2021 season to help boost the roster.
Right.
And with that, you're now looking at the outcome of basically the fingerprint of this team is on all Goody. With David Bakhtiari hurt and Aaron Jones really being the only Ted Thompson guy outside of him. Well, look at the team. This is all of Goody's fingerprints. And when you look at that and you drafted Jordan Love, I would like to think if I'm a GM who's putting my job on the line, I'm going to put together a little bit different of a roster than the youngest
support.
wide receivers and tight end group since the 0-16 Browns.
And that's what I've been saying. I'm asking, where's the veteran leadership on the Packers offense?
You can't have veteran leadership without veterans.
Right. And if they all hurt, right. So when the game gets tight and you have people who are in some of their first NFL experience leading the way, you're going to have a lot of issues, I guess. And a lot of people are questioning Matt LaFleur's play calling as well. I think it's bigger than Jordan at this point.
800-990-3776 on the ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. How many has Ben told that he loved? Dave from Aaron chimes in. Benny, how many ladies have you said you love? Bet it's more than Kyle or Brad combined. Hey, now we're taking shots. Now we're taking shots.
Don't bring up that old stuff. Move on.
Mike in Richfield chimes in. Didn't Goody say that they would know what they had with Jordan Love by week 8, and now they're saying they need more time? Well, I like to believe since Goody and Murphy, since Goody reports to Murphy, they seem to be in a little bit more in sync than Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst are. It was Mark Murphy, who said they would know by week 8. And as Brad pointed out, as Rob Domofsky's article on ESPN.com says, they're still in the figuring out phase. And again, the worst thing that can happen for this team and for the future is you don't know at quarterback, and you don't know if your young guys that you've picked up the last 2 years are going to be, a big part of this future. And so it's hard to judge this team, but unfortunately, you need to judge this team because the more that you wait, the more others are passing you by and the further you are away from your future development.
Yeah, it makes me think, Tori, as this team is clearly, would you say 2023, as far as like a winning standpoint, it's like, it's over, right? As far as like winning on the field, that no longer is the expectation.
I think right now the expectation is to grow.
Okay.
To try to not make the same mistakes over and over again.
That's fair.
And see if we can actually amass some good wins coming up because, we're playing LA, the Rams, these are games that we can potentially win.
Right.
So can we get over the hump? Can we make the proper corrections right now and give the Packer fans some wins?
Would you rather see, so as a Packer fan, would you rather see, it's so interesting at this point in the season, they traded Rasul Douglas. Would you rather see the wins? Maybe they get to 7 wins, 6 wins, something like that? Or would you rather see losses to have a higher draft pick? Just as a fan.
I think the draft picks are good. If you can get somebody good out the draft. I'm always go for higher draft picks because that's where all the good players are. You might find a few Brock Purdy's somewhere. But like I said, I think the Packers right now they're in a class right now where they have to improve week to week.
Yeah, and here's the realistic thing is they can improve week to week and still have a pretty darn good draft pick because their improvements are trying not to run into each other as an NFL franchise right now and a product that's on the field. And as we continue to go over, I've said this, but I think Justin does a good job of summarizing it. There will never be a good explanation as to why the Packers only took one wide receiver in 19, 20, and 21. And it's even dumber that one wide receiver was Amari Rodgers. That is why Love, as you talk about veterans, I don't know why I said veterans, have 0 vets to work with. And again, in that process, I guess they brought in Sammy Watkins. Sammy Watkins, he's a veteran, Kyle.
No, that was stupid. It was stupidity. You had an opportunity to draft a high-level receiver. I mean, not high-level, but first and second round, high potential, high-ceiling receiver at the first and second round that would have been able to play with some veteran receivers that you were part of the franchise, but also, more importantly, play with a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers. And again, this is why Goody failed. And that's why Ben has on the mask today because you know what? What is he, Ben?
He's a clown.
He's a clown. That's exactly what he is.
No wonder he had the mask on. I thought it was because he had a late Halloween research.
No, you can see it says, "My name is Brian Gutekunst."
I seen that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah. On stream, on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee.
I'm definitely in agreement with this.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it's more so, again, I thought Goody, you have to give him credit for what he did in terms of signing the free agent in 19. The roster was good enough to make an NFC Championship game in 20 and to be the number 1 seed in 21. But ultimately, this team has gone downhill from the moment that he said that he knew how to work with a Hall of Fame quarterback and then decided to do everything in his power to not be able to figure out how to get along and work with that Hall of Fame quarterback.
Across the board, it just strikes all along the way, right? With not being able to go all in with that Hall of Fame quarterback, equip your guy Jordan Love for now, the moment where you need to see him do well. And is that the thing? That's what we were thinking, right? We were thinking that at some point this season we're going to know Jordan Love is the guy, or is he not the guy? And we're still in a situation of uncertainty. Do you think we're going to get an answer by the end of the season, Torlo?
I think by the end of the season we can check his progress.
One way or the other.
It started out good. It's getting bad, and it's starting to veer into the ugly a little bit because, when I see the games now, somebody called me and said when the first few drop passes kicked in, that's when they start saying, here we go again. And I said, now I'm watching for improvement. Can these young wide receivers improve? Can we get 100 yards rushing? Can we get some running game going? I mean, to be real, in the NFL, if you don't have a running game, you get no respect in the pass.
Tori, what do you think this team? How many games do you think this team is winning now?
I had high hopes. I was one of those high hopers, but right now I'm just hoping that we can get 8 to 7 wins right now.
But what about this team makes you think they're going to win
8?
Well,
6 more games.
They have shades. If you look at the games, we haven't been.
Oh Lord!
Hold on. We haven't been getting just completely blown out.
I mean,
we
got manhandled last week.
Right. But what I'm saying, we was actually in the Minnesota Vikings game, and if we could have capitalized on a few of those drives,
you had a drop pass on fourth.
Right.
The problem is execution. And
Right.
now we're almost halfway through the season, and we're seeing consistent problem week in and week out. At this point now, I'm more hopeful for a draft pick. And my last question is, if you have a top 3 pick, do you go Love or do you go a top quarterback?
I would bring in competition. I wouldn't mind bringing in some competition.
You have to bring in a quarterback.
I think that you have to bring in some competition. I think that the next year with Jordan Love, I haven't been harsh on Jordan Love his first year, but I think next year I'll be more critical of Jordan Love.
You don't draft a quarterback top 3 to compete for a starting job.
Well, what I'm saying is it's hard for a top pick to actually come and develop in the NFL if they don't get time.
Well, actually, it might not be a bad thing to give them a year as they try and figure out the type of roster that they need to build around the next guy. I mean, I'm not saying that you shouldn't play a guy to get him experience, but we're seeing right now a first-year starter with a roster that's not any good, and it's hard to judge that quarterback.
Right. Jordan Love's not an established veteran. He's not. If you draft a quarterback, he's going to request a trade. He's not he's not Alex Smith. He's not Matt Ryan. He's not this established guy that you can just say, all right, we're going to draft this quarterback. And no, he's going to say, I want to get traded because he's still trying to find his footing in the league.
Well, I'll say this, this is what Jordan Love, to me, has. He has experience with Aaron Rodgers, who's an MVP quarterback. He took notes from that. He got a full year now. He's working on a full year of starting in the
Waiting
NFL.
for those notes to show in games.
He doesn't have a lot of veteran leadership on the offense.
None.
Due to injury.
Aaron Jones is the only one. You're right. He hurt.
Right, due to injury. So
he's a fourth-year guy. He can be a leader as a fourth-year guy, whether he was on the field those years or not.
Right. But what I'm saying is, as a starting quarterback, you need a mature wide receiver just in case you need to get those tough downs. Or maybe it's a tight end like Kelsey or somebody to manage third downs, to make sure that you can get that extra. You need a go-to receiver. And right now, I'm seeing that we're trying to develop that, but we don't see it.
What we got here, Tori? The Tori Lowe song of the day.
Rick Ross and Meek Mill, Kobe and Shaq.
Who's Kobe? Who's Shaq?
I think Rick Ross says he's 280 pounds. He's probably Shaq.
No, I didn't know if you were going with the Dame Giannis thing here.
No, what I'm saying is this is a song about getting it together, struggling, making it. So I think the Packers need to play this song before they come out.
All right.
You're right. They need more than
They need that motivation.
They need more than music.
I'm not going to push back on
lost.
But we know
They
we're
need the
dealing with an
motivation.
eternal optimist in Tori Lowe.
Yeah, me and Tori gonna be on Sunday doing our. I'm gonna try to get there on Sunday. I got there last week and I picked them like a fool. I said I'm not picking them no more this year.
Well, and
no more.
Last week it was Monday through Wednesday that Kyle was in a bad mood. Then on Thursday he's like, I think they're gonna win.
Hell with that.
We'll see what he's like tomorrow. Tori Lowe, thank you.
Hey, talk to y'all soon. Be safe.
Tori Lowe Tuesday on a Wednesday, 800-990-3776. We revisit Goody's comments on Jordan Love and on the trade of Rasul Douglas. That's next on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
Too much money and power. Hustling 24 hours.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, presented by Bud Light.
Student Athlete Support Fund is something I was looking at. I'm ultimately likely going to give to this College of Letters. I was in
long week.
Life Sciences Communication was my major.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
It's a little bit slow right now along southbound 43, basically from Silver Spring all the way down to about North Avenue. It's going to take about 21 minutes to get from Brown Deer Road into downtown. Also a little heavy spot heading through the Marquette as well. Northbound side slowing from Fond du Lac Avenue up past Keith. Westbound 94 backed up from 27th Street through the stadium, and southbound 41 backed up from Silver Spring all the way down to about North Avenue. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 31. Tomorrow, cloudy skies, a high of 48. Weather is brought to you by Adams Generators, the #1 rated Generac dealer in Wisconsin. Call for your free quote today at 262-944-2010 for power, peace of mind, or visit adamspower.com/generators. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
A to the semifinals is on the line Friday night as Catholic Memorial hosts Lakeside Lutheran.
Keeping himself, MC Mitchell straight up the middle, inside the 30. Base man misses the 25, and he is gone. Opening play of the game offensively for Catholic Memorial, and it's a touchdown run.
Keith Neitzel and Mike Padole are on the call starting at 6:30. Sponsored by the Bray Team at Shore West, Gerald Nell Inc., Wind Dancer Balloon Promotions, Mid-City Sports, Suburban Asphalt, Perspire Sauna Studio, Edge Leadership, and Urchel Real Estate Group.
Here in Wisconsin, a good old-fashioned is an important way of life. And that's where my friends at Perky's Old Fashioned come in. Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Gabe Neitzel here to tell you about the easiest way to put together an old-fashioned. Perky's offers both brandy and bourbon old-fashioned mixes. And get this, the booze is already in there. Just add the soda of your choosing, and you'll have Grandma Perky's old-fashioned in the palm of your hand. Perky's is locally made and great for get-togethers of all kinds. Get perked up and head to perkysspirits.com for your nearest Perky's location.
They say seeing is believing, and when you see what's inside at American Place Casino, you better believe you're gonna love it. Because when it comes to amazing gaming, we're a real game changer. With the most exciting of table games like blackjack, craps, and roulette, the newest slots, a sportsbook, restaurants, bars, and more. So if you're ready for excitement, we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game.
Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
With Black Friday appliance savings all month long at the Home Depot, we're making the holidays merrier by making holiday hosting easier with our lowest prices of the year on Whirlpool kitchen appliances. Get everything you need to store all your holiday favorites
Dinner's ready.
and the leftovers. With top brand kitchen appliances at a great value. Save up to $2,300 on select kitchen packages, including top brands like Whirlpool with Black Friday savings at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
After every final whistle,
holy mackerel, cool and collected. That is the new quarterback.
Green Bay Game Night on 94.5 ESPN is your place to go.
I don't care if it's got an L in the column. I consider it a win.
Sound off on the Boda Box wine line after every green and gold game.
So I think I just watched a different game than the one Homer and Tosh watched. In the game I watched, I saw the Falcons roll up over 400 yards of offense.
The Boda Box wine line on Green Bay Game Night, 800-990-3776. This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Brian Gutekunst spoke to the media today after trading Rasul Douglas to the Buffalo Bills. Traded Rasul in a 5th for a 3rd. Would like to see the wide receivers further along than they are. And Mark Murphy's plan of knowing where Jordan Love is at through 8 games definitely ain't happening. 800-990-3776. That's the ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line where you can chime in. You can also view us on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee and on Twitter at KBN ESPN. Earlier today, as I mentioned, Goody talked to the media. Here's what he had to say about how the Rasul Douglas trade transpired.
You know, we weren't looking to move anybody. Got a call kind of out of the blue a few days ago, and it ended up being, you know, we kind of weren't really interested in doing it, but at the end of the day, the offer was kind of too good to pass up. Quite frankly, we were kind of looking to add maybe something if we could. That didn't transpire, but this kind of came out of nowhere and just made sense for our football team.
You don't know what makes sense for your damn football team. That's what I take from that quote. We weren't looking to move anyone. Why not? You're 2-5. You are heading towards a good draft pick. You are looking at a team that is going to struggle to win football games. If there's ever a time to move a Preston Smith or a Devondre Campbell, that was the time. And so the fact that Rasul Douglas, the trade fell into his lap and thought it was too good to resist, he should have been shopping Rasul. especially when he got the offer, right? Well, I would have loved to know if he leveraged the idea that the Bills want him. Hey, anyone else wants Rasul?
No, he didn't.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's what you should be doing. And then also to say you're looking to add? What are you looking at? What? A new GM? You're looking for your replacement? That's what you should be looking for.
This is why I think they're lost. You should be firmly in one of two camps. I am a seller,
Yes.
I am a buyer. And he is saying, well, we were actually looking to buy, nothing really happened, but then a sale came across and we sold. And it was just like, what are we doing?
You know what he sounds like, Brad? You came from the investment world?
What's that?
He sounds like a FOMO bad trader. Like
He
just
does.
somebody who was like,
Very good analogy.
I think I'm going to sell. Oh, whoa. I can buy. This stock's going to go up.
Yeah.
Like, and he just got a call. He's like, yeah, I'm going to sell now. I thought I was buying.
You're changing your direction with the wind, right? There is no conviction in his voice. Everything is kind of like, how many times did we hear kinda, sort of? I mean, there's just no weight behind his words, and it gives me more ammunition to think that this team is lost. They're directionless. They don't know who they are. They don't know what direction they're going in. They don't know what fire to put out first, and there's plenty of fires to put out.
Do you believe in Brian Gutekunst's plan? Do you believe in Goody's plan? 800-990-3776.
I think it's interesting that you asked, do I believe in his plan? You know what I would do? If we went into his office and Mark Murphy asked to see the plan, the plan would be a notebook that's empty. He's just as bad as Jamarcus Russell. He's just who did not watch any type of film. He's just as bad as Johnny Manziel, who didn't watch film.
Kyler Murray playing Call of Duty.
Because he has no real plan whatsoever. He just thought, you know what? Well, let's just draft these young guys and see what happens. He didn't realize that you need to have some type of veteran leadership, some type of veteran presence to show these guys the way. And so he failed to do that for the Green Bay Packers. And so that's why I said, I don't have any faith or trust in Goody to fix this problem that he has created. And let it not get confused. He made this problem. He made this problem because he signed Aaron Rodgers to an extension. We could have kept Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers could still be the quarterback of this team. We could have kept Devontae Adams. We could have made a lot of different moves to keep this team competitive. And he decided he did not want to do it, and he wanted to move on. But we talked about it through this show. He didn't do a good job drafting to make sure when it was time for Jordan Love to take over that he was going to be successful. Why? In spite of Aaron Rodgers. He didn't draft a receiver not because he felt like, we don't need a receiver. He didn't draft one because he didn't want to risk making Aaron Rodgers look too good and keeping Aaron Rodgers around and then being somebody that would have to admit failure of the fact that he drafted a guy with a premium pick that was never going to play on the Green Bay Packers. He put his own pride, he put his own ego, he put his own self-centered wants and desire ahead of this franchise and this organization, and I was blinded by the fact that Aaron Rodgers acted a fool, but I can once again see the root of all
I once was blind, but now I can see.
The root of the failures of this organization solely are on the hands of Brian Gutekunst because he has no idea what he's doing. He can't plan out the future. I got a coach who can't coach youth, and I got a guy that can't get the right route to help him for him to coach.
Adam in Waterford. Kyle, I want you to answer this. Does a high draft pick matter if Goody is the one making the pick?
No, it doesn't. That's why you have to fire Goody, and that's what I'm saying.
But how many people have you asked or said that? We asked Stamofsky, you could ask Taushi, or you could ask anyone. He's not going anywhere.
So
you need to come. I'm saying you need to come to the reality that Goody is not going anywhere.
I don't need to come to the reality of anything. You know what the reality is? Mark Murphy needs to come to the reality that this guy, he is.
You think he's in reality of all people?
I don't know what he is. I don't know what he does. But here's the thing: is that Goody is going to make the end of the Mark Murphy era end with a dud. Mark Murphy needs to realize that. And I'm glad that Rob Demovsky came on. He talked about Bob Harlan and what he did in the last 2 years. He went and got Ted Thompson. He went and got Mike McCarthy as well as part of the last thing that set this franchise up for the years to come. Mark, follow the history. Do what we did before. We are a legacy traditional organization. Follow what your predecessor did and go ahead and make those important moves to set this franchise up for the future.
One thing I also don't specifically like about this Rasul Douglas trade, and when the trade came down the line yesterday, I got the impression, okay, Packers are firmly sellers. They know what direction they're going, and they're committing to it. Great, at least we know. Now we're coming to find out that they don't know. Here's what I don't like about this trade.
From Brian Gutekunst's mouth.
Yes. Imagine I walked into your house, and I was like, hey, let me buy that like recliner chair from you. But you're like, I don't really have any plans to sell this chair. But you're like, oh, well, here's a bunch of money that you might be tempted to do it. You're like, okay, sounds good. There's the chair. If you didn't think about how you might replace that chair, that would be a bad decision. When you sell a player, particularly at the trade deadline, you should hand select the players that you are willing to trade. Clearly, Rasul Douglas wasn't on the radar of people that they wanted to trade. So all of a sudden, just because there's outside interest, oh, let's move him, without any thought of, you do this when you have a backup plan already in place. So now it's like, hey, Carrington Valentine, I guess you're up. And it's just like, what?
And that's the thing is, you know what? In that moment, you know what I just realized? I think I'm a pretty smart guy. I'm not the most intelligent, but hell, I'm smarter than Brian Gutekunst. You know why? Because I thought that was the idea. That was the plan. It was like, hey, we have somebody, so we can get rid of somebody because, hey, I'm going to sell this chair, but I've been looking at this other chair that I want to buy.
Right.
It's a cheaper chair, but it's high quality. No. Not at all. He didn't have that in his mind. What he should have did today as a good GM, he should have said, you know what, we traded Rasul Douglas. I wasn't really expecting to do that, but I was confident in the roster that I built, the players that we have to be able to fill that void and fill that gap. I understand it's going to hurt the locker room a little bit, but we have some young, talented guys in there that will step up. But you know what? We probably don't, and it's his fault.
Yeah, I want to hear from Goody again. I just think this interaction is fascinating. You said you usually know if you're a seller or a buyer. He says both, and that is horrible.
We weren't looking to move anybody. Got a call kind of out of the blue a few days ago, and it ended up being, we kind of weren't really interested in doing it. But at the end of the day, the offer was kind of too good to pass up. Quite frankly, we were kind of looking to add maybe something if we could. That didn't transpire, but this kind of came out of nowhere and just made sense for our football team.
I ask again, add what? Add what? Anyone got an answer? Chris, what would you add?
I have no idea what I would add.
A competent GM.
That was my answer, but he's not. Again, he's doing it. I like this from Pat in Oregon. I'd love to hear anyone's argument for why Goot should not be fired. He can't draft, rarely brings in free agents, makes elite players like Rodgers and Devontae upset, doesn't seem to have a great relationship with LaFleur. What's his upside going forward? All fair points. Guess what? The guy who's his boss is not going to fire him.
Listen,
he's not going to fire
Mark
him.
Murphy. He's going to let him go.
He's a toxic
That's
employee.
the only...
There's nothing worse than a toxic employee that everybody else sees as toxic, but the person in charge doesn't. That's the most frustrating thing to sit there and be in Matt LaFleur's
Murphy
position.
takes 5.
No, but
write an email to Mark Murphy. We'll do it on the damn show tomorrow.
We may have to do it.
No, we're doing it tomorrow. I'll tell you right now. 800-990-3776. We're emailing Mark Murphy. Murphy takes 5. He answers questions each month or week on Packers.com. We're emailing him.
We have to, because the thing is that I don't know Goody personally. I only know what he does as a professional. And professionally, what I see is a toxic employee that's creating a hostile work environment for Matt LaFleur, and he has the trust. He is the right-hand man of Mark Murphy, which means he can get away with doing anything that he wants. Nobody in this world should have job security if they are failing at what they are doing. This is not a tenure position. He is not a teacher. He is not an educator. He is a professional football general manager. I'll be damned if this man gets to keep his job because he's nice or he's friendly with Mark Murphy.
Yeah, well, your Sundays and Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays aren't going to be fun all year. And the problem with him being around is I fear that Sundays and Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays might suck for quite some time. And that will bleed into Thursdays and Fridays and Saturdays.
I'm going to be a mean guy.
We don't want that. We need a nice guy.
You're the heartbeat of the show.
We need it for KBN's health.
Paul in Milwaukee on Goody's ego. Hit us.
He summed up his ego when he talked about, oh, that's not my draft pick, and just let guys go. That's ridiculous. Plus, when he says we were looking to add, he could have added an interior lineman and a blocking tight end, which would have given his guys that he wants to develop time to execute a play or two.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't have hurt, Paul. And you know what? I actually like that. That would be my only argument for adding, is if it was like, you know what? we're going to add somebody that is familiar with this system.
You had Mercedes Lewis.
But no, I'm not even talking about tight end. I'm going as far as like bringing in a wide receiver who knows the system, because you want to. If the goal of the season is to evaluate Jordan Love, you need someone who you can count on to run the right routes, so you can see Jordan Love develop.
Honestly, it would be worth a fifth-round draft pick to get somebody in there, even if he's a rental for half the season, because at least you can pair Love up with somebody capable of running routes, getting open, and then
800-990-ESPN. Goot. See the death of you all? We'll find out next, but I got to tell you about Forward Healthy Lifestyles, because tomorrow's Thursday. That's injection day, baby. Right in the booty. Boop. Pop it. Have lots of energy. It's great. I sat down with the team. I did the blood panel, and I figured out where I was deficient. So the vitamin B12, obviously they have testosterone. And testosterone, it's about not just the sex, it's not just the muscle, it's about so many other things: energy, concentration, mood, weight management, and heart health. And I can promise you that Lindsay and her team will take care of you. So smart. She's worked in hospital systems. She's amazing. And she's put together a great team that when you book your free confidential consultation at forwardhealthylifestyles.com, you're going to get there and you're going to feel so comfortable. They've helped me so much. The exposure therapy that I've had, I couldn't even really look at needles. I can give myself an injection at home. They've given me that confidence. They also have penile augmentation, which takes no surgery. So if you want to look a certain way down there, maybe a little bigger, maybe a little cuter, maybe you don't want to hang this way, that way, you can do that at Forward Healthy Lifestyles. They can do it all for you. ForwardHealthyLifestyles.com. Book your free confidential consultation today. 800-990-ESPN. Again, 800-990-3776. Do you believe in Goody's plan? Do you believe in Goot? I clearly don't. Next.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, presented by Bud Light.
Let me just give you a quick cultural lesson.
I would love one.
I have no weave in my hair. Weave is like extensions. So
okay.
An ad is not your hair. All my hair is all natural, all me. I'm not one of these women or men from California to go get their calves done, their chest done, their buttocks done. No. I'm all natural, boy.
He's Kyle Wallace, all natural.
Damn skip.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
We do still have delays southbound on 43 as you're making your way down from Silver Spring all the way down past North and then back on the brakes heading through the Marquette interchange onto 4394. The northbound side's a little heavy from Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up to Keith. Westbound 94 hitting the brakes around 20th Street all the way through the Stadium interchange almost to Hawley Road. Eastbound's got its own delays from about 68th Street all the way to about 35th. Traffic is brought to you by Golden Mast Inn. Looking for a perfect wedding venue? Open air terrace nestled over Okachi Lake. Weisgerber's Golden Mast, your wedding place on the lake. Visit goldenmastin.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mostly cloudy with a low of 31. Tomorrow, cloudy skies with a high of 48. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
I've got an idea and I want to share it with you.
Are you talking to me?
No, I'm talking to the radio audience.
Oh, we're doing that now? What's the idea you have for the radio audience?
It's epic. It's unconventional. It's completely transparent.
Now you're talking to Monica and me, right?
No, I'm still talking to the radio audience.
Men or women?
Could be either one.
Say what you gotta say, Rick. Sarah and I will just listen in.
You're in the car. You're driving. Your partner is seated next to you. You drive into the parking lot and stop the car directly in front of Kessler's Diamonds. You turn off the car. You turn to your partner and looking them directly in the eyes, you say, "Do you want to go in and take a look around?"
Rick, that's gangster. Definitely transparent. Unconventional. Epic. Oh my God.
Kessler's has the strongest diamond warranty in America. When you read those 36 words, it's going to blow your mind. For the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Don't put your life on hold to earn a degree. Lakeland University has a long history of making students' dreams come true. Since 1862, build a schedule that meets your needs with options for 7 and 12-week courses, evening classes, and the ability to join classes remotely. Lakeland University is Wisconsin's leader in evening and online education. They have a main campus in Sheboygan County and 6 centers throughout the whole state. Lakeland University. Affordable, quality, flexible. Find out your next steps at info.lakeland.edu.
Take it to the house this season and enjoy tailgating from your own backyard. Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. You can win game day gear for your next gathering by entering to win at Tito'sTailgate.com. Be sure to enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill, a Brewmate back tap for batch cocktails, or a Tito's football jersey. For official rules, visit Tito'sTailgate.com. Must be 21 years old to enter. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Get your game on at the Island Resort and Casino with first-round picks of your favorite slots and table games. Bring friends and watch your favorite team compete on big screens. Grab game day eats in T. McSee's Sports Bar or celebrate your team's victory in Horizon's Steakhouse. To book your game time at the Island Resort and Casino, call 800-682-6040 today.
A trip to the semifinals is on the line Friday night as Catholic Memorial hosts Lakeside Lutheran.
Keeping himself, MJ Mitchell straight up the middle, inside the 30. Base man misses the 25, and he is gone. Opening play of the game offensively for Catholic Memorial, and it's a touchdown run.
Keith Neitzel and Mike Padole are on the call starting at 6:30. Sponsored by the Bray Team at Shore West, Gerald Nell Inc., Wind Dancer Balloon Promotions, Mid-City Sports, Suburban Asphalt, Perspire's Sauna Studio, Edge Leadership, and Urchel Real Estate Group. This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, presented by Bud Light, the official beer of the NFL, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, 94.5 ESPN. Homer's going to join us coming up next as we get you prepared for the Homer Hour here, 94.5 ESPN. Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, homeboy Chris running the show. And we've been talking a lot about Brian Gutekunst and his comments made at the podium today. And again, a lot of different things have brought us to this point, right? You can go back to the time that Mike McCarthy got fired, right? And Kyle, you had said this. I think this is something that is striking me as even bigger of a reason, right? They're going to have a losing season this year. There's no doubt about it. That would be 3 of 6 years under Goody that they are having losing seasons. Now, I understand the 18-year, obviously Rodgers and the firing of McCarthy mid-season, Joe Philbin becoming the interim head coach. But he's failed from a standpoint of, if you go to an NFC Championship game, like if you look around the league, teams that have been going to NFC Championship games and even Super Bowls, what are they doing? They're finding a way to reload. The Philadelphia Eagles, do they look like they went backwards from last year? They look stronger. San Francisco 49ers, a team that made the Super Bowl, do they look like a team that's going backwards? No, they just used one of their third rounders to get Chase Young, a former top 5 pick. And again, he's now in a spot where that defense is so good that maybe he plays a little bit better than he did in Washington. But the point is look at how teams act when they're there, and look at what Goody did after 2019. He drafted Jordan Love, A.J. Dillon, and Josiah DeGuara. And I'll never forget, Aaron Rodgers in the 2020 draft, after that 2019 season, had never been more excited for a draft because you know why? That draft was wide receiver heavy. And he thought they were going to draft a skill position player for the first time in God knows how long. I think it was like 20 years.
Javon Walker, I think 2001.
Correct. It was like 19, 20 years. And they drafted Jordan Love. And then they drafted a running back in A.J. Dillon, who's not going to be a part of this team's future. And then they drafted Josiah DeGuara, who's going to be like that Kyle Juszczyk H-back position. That hasn't worked out, and he's struggling to do the one thing that he's on the team to do right now this year, which is block. And then you want to go 2021? We did it. Stokes, Rodgers, Josh Myers. When I say Rodgers, not a good Rodgers. Amari Rodgers, who they kept on too long. So 3 straight years, you can go back to 19, in which like Amari Rodgers was the really only wide receiver you drafted. And then you were asking Matt LaFleur to go out there with this team. That's how we got here.
Matt needs to go into the office of Mark Murphy and say, listen, I can't do this. I can't. He should take the list.
I mean, that's his boss. Goody's not his boss.
No.
That's what I'm saying. He can go there.
He should go to his boss and say, "Listen, this is what I'm dealing with. This is the roster that we had. This is a roster. Here are the draft picks that we had, and here are all the failures. That ain't on me, buddy. You told me that I'm supposed to coach this team. When I actually had some players here to coach that weren't put in place by the current GM, we were able to win. Now." The players that he drafted, they're not even here. Some aren't even in the NFL. We need to do. Hey, Mark, you said knocking on the door and Goody. Hey, Mark, I want to be here, but we got to fix this, and it starts with him. Sometimes you have to sabotage certain people's careers, and in this sense, you got to.
Sometimes you have to sabotage people's careers.
In order for the greater good.
No, so I don't think he has to sabotage. I think he just needs to have a direct conversation with his boss.
Don't you?
That's literally it. He just showing him the draft picks isn't sabotaging Goody. It's saying, hey, I care about this team. I am the head coach of this team, and if we're going to win, I know I'm not the general manager, but you should probably look at getting somebody who's going to help me, the head coach. And this is why the system is all freaked up.
I was about to say, because don't you think Goody is walking into Mark's office saying the same thing, being like, look, I'm getting all these young, talented guys. They can't coach him up.
No, that's not I mean, come on.
There's none of them
have shown
successful.
Anything. Yeah. And Matt's shown that he could win football games.
Nobody called for A.J. Dillon.
But I'm saying with this current team right now, they're like, hey, I've got these guys. They just need to be in the right position. They need to be coached up right. That's the problem. But LaFleur and Goody can't even have that conversation.
Christian
Watson they can't go to one another.
Had 40 catches as a senior in FBS against North Dakota State and Montana State and other school in the mountainous area of time zone where nobody lives state. That's Christian Watson. Romeo Dobbs, great ball skills. Can't separate from anyone. 4th-round draft pick from Nevada. The only guy I believe in is Jaden Reed. He's the only guy I've seen get separation. It's the only guy. That's the only guy.
And what I'm saying, I'm not defending Goody. I'm getting Ben all riled up here. I'm saying, don't you think he's having that same conversation with Mark Murphy?
Oh, Mark
Murphy ain't talking to them about any of that. And I'm not, he's sitting on his cash.
And listen, I'm not calling Mark Murphy an idiot. But what I am going to say is that Mark Murphy would be a idiot if he allows somebody to walk into his office and try to BS him with trying to say, it's not me. I drafted Amari Rodgers. I drafted these guys. If we would have had a better coach, he would have been able to develop these guys into something.
Amari Rodgers has been cut on 2 different teams now.
And that's what I'm saying. None of these guys have gone on to flourish once they left. When, at least before with Ted Thompson, you saw guys who actually they may have cut.
Look at Micah Hyde.
Micah Hyde. You can keep going down. Heck, we can go to a guy that nobody remembers, Lawrence Guy. Heck, even Taysom Hill made a career after. I don't see those guys here.
Don't you get vibes though that Goody and LaFleur are like siblings that got in a fight and they're running to the parent being like, it's not my fault. Hey, it's not my fault.
Yeah, but it's not their fault. That's what I was going to say. It's not their fault. It's the system.
Yes.
The system separates them from working through problems together.
And then you're trying to deflect
blame. Then you're taking it to your boss who isn't equipped to handle at age 73 handling a GM and a coach trying to figure out how to put this team together.
He's in his 60s, so he should be able to handle it.
Mark Murphy is?
Yeah.
I think he's 68.
68, yeah, 68 years old.
Come on now. Retires at 70.
He's the same age as my parents. My parents can handle some stuff. My goodness.
Maybe your parents should be the president of the Packers. I trust them more than old Mark Murphy. Ben in Menominee Falls chimes in. I think Good has failed love. He has not set him up for success. If he would have said this year was going to be like this, I wouldn't be as upset. He sold you guys on a reload. That's your guy.
Ain't my guy. Don't say that.
That was your guy.
Who Goody?
That was your guy.
We had a common enemy. That's what happened.
My guy is Matt from Sit Means Sit. And you can hear the dog of the game, which they are hard to come by dogs on this team. But you usually can find one. I mean, Rashawn Gary, he's going to be a dog. I mean, that's a guy I don't worry about getting a big contract and then thinking, is this guy going to show up for our team? He's a dog. And if your dogs don't always listen to you and you ask yourself, why do they not listen to me? Look no further than Sit Means Sit. You can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog by sitting down with Matt and their team. Contact Sit Means Sit Dog Training in Milwaukee or Waukesha to schedule a free consultation. Go to sitmeansit.com. Again, check out those Milwaukee and Waukesha pages and stay tuned for Green Bay Props and Preview presented by Sit Means Sit and the dog of the game on the Green Bay Game Day post-game show. Speaking of that post-game show, Homer joins us next of the Homer Hour.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN.
Tyler, thank you for all that baby talk there and parenting talk. I'll take some of those tips.
I was getting ready for it right
now.
Yeah,
taking notes over there,
taking some of those tips, taking some of those tips, those tips and storing them away. I do like nips as well. But Tyler,
Presented by Bud Light on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. Let's take a look at what's going on with the green and gold.
Nothing. We have everything.
That's star corner Jair Alexander. Hey, what do you think is wrong?
Honestly, I don't know.
I see. How are you guys going to fix it?
Oh, man. Shoot, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just ready to get up out of here so I can digest everything. Because I don't want to say the wrong thing.
94.5 ESPN. We may not know, but at least we'll try.
Hey, it's Gary Olson here for Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center. Looking for that midday escape? Or maybe you want to impress a client? No matter the season, rain, snow, or shine, Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is open for you. A top-tech, cutting-edge golf experience that gives you the chance to play legendary courses. Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center simulators, entertainment, and best Bloody Marys make it feel like summer all year round. Just $35 an hour gets you a round and puts that summer feel back in your life. Book your bay at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
With Black Friday appliance savings all month long at the Home Depot, we're making the holidays merrier by making holiday hosting easier with our lowest prices of the year on Whirlpool kitchen appliances. Get everything you need to store all your holiday favorites
Dinner's ready.
and the leftovers with top brand kitchen appliances at a great value. Save up to $2,300 on select kitchen packages, including top brands like Whirlpool with Black Friday savings at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, a group of doctors I trusted with my knee surgery. The pain was real and options were important. My experience with each doctor was thorough, the appointments were timely, always close and easy access to the building. My mom felt the same way, I know, when she went there for her physical therapy appointments at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. I trusted their surgical team for my knee surgery, and I know they'll take care of you the way they did my mom and me. Make an appointment at orthowisconsin.com.
Prize Picks, the most fun I've had, winning up to 25x on my money during the football season, and now I get to play during the basketball season as well. You get to select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and you just place an entry. Pretty simple. And now you get to pick combo projections across football and basketball from the Specials League, a league created specifically for combo projections that includes 2 or more players from different sports or leagues. So for me, I'm going to go Jordan Love, and then I'll go Giannis and Dalla Dame. If I want to go 3-pointers made, rushing touchdowns, can do it. Prize Picks is that simple to play. Testing my skills on Prize Picks this season is the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what makes Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app.
Go to prizepicks.com/WI and use code WI for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/WI, code WI.
What is dedication?
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that my kids wouldn't have a father. And I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. I definitely had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
You know, I really do feel as if some good news around the Green Bay Packers would be good. It's been stressful.
It has
4 straight losses, right? Like, trying to figure out where's the team going. Trade deadline, still not getting a lot of answers. You have a guy telling us we're going to add, but then I got a call, and then we're subtracting, a.k.a. selling, a.k.a. getting rid of Rasul Douglas for a third-round pick, and he's also given a fifth. Like I just, again, this is part of the process to figure out where you're going to go, but the problem is when the person leading this process is someone you don't necessarily trust, it makes it stressful, right? Like, if someone you are working with is making a decision about your business or company and you don't trust that person, you're sitting there and we're just kind of along for the ride on what Goody does. And what Goody does has led us to this point of such a youthful roster that is not built. And I'm not saying they should have been built to win, but built to grow, at least in a standpoint where we're watching on Sundays. And I think that's sad that the bottom of this right now is watching on Sundays to see consistent growth.
I think the hard part is you're so used to the Green Bay Packers being relevant, being good, being a competitor. And we're talking now about, okay, this is what it looked like to go through, lean times and roster rebuilding and stuff. There are plenty of teams out there, though, to your point, that they don't go through these extreme depths. I think of the Baltimore Ravens. I think of the Seattle Seahawks even recently. And for sure the 49ers.
They traded Russell
Eagles.
Wilson away, and they are 5-2 right now this year, and they were great last year.
So there's plenty of the Steelers. The Steelers are annually good. Mike Tomlin in 16 years has never had a losing season. So there are plenty of examples out there of teams that reinvent themselves and stay relevant, stay good. They keep their winning window open. I don't know what it was that made Goody think that we need to reset this whole thing and become a cellar-dwelling team in the NFL. It's hard to watch, and I wouldn't go as far as saying it erodes the Packer brand, but any fear that teams had playing the Packers, it's completely gone now.
Yeah, and you mentioned Seattle. You know what Seattle did? They actually built a roster with talent on it. So when Geno Smith came on, he had two really good receivers. Both Packers.
He didn't have to be a hero.
No, he did not. He did not. And what you're asking Jordan Love to do is you're asking him to grow with guys that aren't ready to grow and be able to show what Jordan Love can be. We can't see any potential that Jordan Love has. I would love for Jordan Love to have a roster that had some talent on it to see what he can do. But maybe when he did have talent, when he filled in, maybe we saw all we need to see with Jordan Love. But I will say the bright side about this is now, overall, at least I have something to look forward to and hope of.
What's that?
If the Packers do lose and they suck, and I'm talking 3 wins this year. They only win one more game this year.
They're going to win more than one game this year.
But if they do, maybe.
But here's why. Is because, again, I know it doesn't look great, but when you have a team of young players, they're just they're fighting for their jobs. Like they're trying to stay in the NFL. So
are they, though?
Yeah, but
if Goody is letting them know it's okay to suck.
Well, I wouldn't say he's going that far.
He's basically saying, "Hey, you guys, we're just going to be growing. We're gonna try to get better. We're gonna try to add pieces."
But if if you don't win a couple of games, you're not growing.
I can tell you guys, even if no matter what the GM says, you're selfishly going to want to perform because you want to get paid, right? You want to keep your job. You want to stay in the league as long as possible. The question is, are these dudes just capable of playing well on the field? Like, are they capable of being NFL players?
They've won twice.
Don't say take Brad's word for it. As he told us yesterday, he got paid.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I don't know what you want me to say to that.
You try to catch him again.
Yeah. I'm thinking Packers. I'm thinking all this. I'm like, oh shoot, we're talking about me now.
I like the Brad. Yeah. I can do a thing. I was good.
All right, coming up tomorrow, we're going to play Guess Brad's Net Worth. No, I'm just kidding, Brad. Don't worry.
No, we're not playing.
You just look it up online.
Chris, do it. I mean, mine was 1 to 5 million, and I'm still looking for that 1 to 5 million.
What? Your net worth was what?
Yeah, if you Google it, it says 1 to 5 million.
Here is a net worth of $480,000.
Oh, okay.
Me? I went down? Damn! What happened to the 1 to 5 million?
The market's down, baby.
Let's not do this to Brad.
Down.
Brad, don't put this man.
Don't put Brad on blast. You can put me on blast because when it said 1 to 5 million, I was like, I don't know what the data source is.
Elise is out there like, oh, they don't know who the hell I am.
Well, who's the first Kyle Wallace that shows up on Google? You haven't done this?
That is not. I don't have time to look up myself.
You've never Googled yourself?
I have, but not recently. I have 2 jobs. Oh, look at that! Look at that handsome. Ooh!
Is it you? Is it the Kyle Wallace?
It might be based off the location.
I was gonna say this is geo-targeted.
It's the reason why, but boy, oh boy, that's a handsome gentleman right there. I see plenty of pictures of me.
Definitely geo-targeted.
I wonder what they say my net worth is. Worth
unknown. Unknown.
A man worth nothing. Okay.
No. That's tough. Homer, you got 40 more bucks?
No. Oh, yes, actually, I do. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Oh, he's paying you?
Cold hard cash, baby.
What's your net worth, Homer? You're probably rich.
I didn't know Tony Smith was still in the room. No, I'm not rich.
He's $40 less rich.
I'm almost 69.
Oh, so you got to have a lot.
No, if I was rich, you know what I wouldn't be doing?
This? Hey, Homer Hour next.
We do still have delays along southbound 43